and share it with everyone you know. When a friend signs up for Dish, you'll both earn points you can redeem for things you love, like $100 in bill credits, free movie rentals, home theater awesomeness, and more. But don't just take our word for it. See why people all over the country are referring friends and family to Dish. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and our customers for the 3rd year in a row. Dish. Tuned in to you.
It's time to pick your final date. This is a very intimate overnight date. It's the things in life that you don't do that you regret more than the things you do.
Temptation Island, new episode Tuesday at 10 on USA.
You noticed I didn't ask for a lawyer? So I did nothing wrong.
Tell us about Katie Cause. We went through your computer. There's you and Katie. She was 16. And the rest of these, I can't remember. So if I remember, the cops in front of you dead. And you were sleeping with a teenage daughter. That was supposed to make that. Forget this is statutory rape. Just tell us what happened. Let's you break up. Dad find out what you were doing, because any version of this is better.
No, I would never hurt Kate.
And what about her mom, Jen? You know she was suing, so what was up with that?
It's a long story, but I mean, it's $800 she loaned me. They were good people. But I couldn't pay it back, and I couldn't tell my dad, so we were in court. I loved Katie. I'm trying to.
Yo, we got you guys done. We know it's gonna be a ballistics match. So hey, just tell us what happened.
No, I borrowed it to go on patrol. It hasn't been fired, hasn't it?
Then why'd you run? Why?
My dad sent her out. Someone wanted
WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 37 this past weekend. Thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play live right here on YouTube. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit that thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE. Hashtag WrestleMania once more. Hashtag WWE Raw as well. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated. Like to support the channel. Links also in the description below. Scroll down, check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and be sure to hit that red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well right here on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Currently, right now, about 15 minutes away from the top of the hour on the USA Network for WWE Monday Night Raw this evening, April the 12th, 2021. We'll have a new announce team with Adnan Virk, formerly, of course, with ESPN. He'll be joined by Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. So some changes being made in the new year here for the WWE on the road to Backlash next month, but WrestleMania 38 next year. But currently nothing advertised this evening for the Raw after WrestleMania. However, I have a few ideas on and a few thoughts, projections, predictions, however you want to put it, just some thoughts of mine with potentially how the WWE and what they're at least for a few of these, I'm thinking going to actually be doing moving forward. As yes, we'll have a few rematches as we always do, following pay-per-views. But tonight we'll begin the new year. We'll have some fresh storylines, fresh feuds beginning. Hopefully, knock on wood, and hopefully no technical difficulties this evening with the live stream or with watching WWE programming with WWE Network on Peacock. But we're not on pay-per-view. We're on live TV. About, as mentioned, now less than 15 minutes away from the top of the hour for WWE Monday Night Raw. So, with nothing to actually preview, with nothing advertised other than this Raw after WrestleMania, the current Raw feuds with the at least current champions, we'll dive into those here in a few seconds. And then we're also going to have live reactions play live right here on the channel tomorrow night for WWE NXT, Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite as well, and then Friday Night SmackDown for the SmackDown after Mania this coming Friday. So be sure to tune back in for more live reactions play live right here on the channel for those respective shows as well. And for those respective storylines too, we'll dive in when the time is right then. So only tonight, WWE Monday Night Raw. Yes, we very well could see some changes being made with some, potential call-ups, returns, or even switches from, say, Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw. But we'll begin, I suppose, with Bobby Lashley, who is still your WWE champion, the almighty one himself, after he defeated Drew McIntyre on Saturday night during night one of WrestleMania Saturday for WrestleMania 37 this past weekend. Because I just have a feeling, for some unknown reason, I don't know why, that he'll end up kicking off the show. He'll stay with MVP by his side. The Hurt Business, of course, is no longer together. Hopeful for Cedric and Shelton to potentially be put in the Raw Tag Team title picture with AJ Styles and Almost now as well. And we'll get more into the tag team picture here throughout the evening. With the men and the women, with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler still your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions as well. But I just have a feeling Lashley's going to kick off the show. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe that's a 9 or 10 o'clock hour, and then they save it for later on. But normally when they're going to have something big, and it's Raw after Mania, there's always either a big surprise return or a big surprise debut. WWE Thunderdome still in Tampa. This is the 10-minute pre-segment for Monday Night Raw. We'll have, WrestleMania recap, it looks like. They're no longer in St. Pete at the Trop, home of the Rays, because, of course, baseball season has returned. And Byron Saxton doing the lead-in commentary for that. Normally it would be Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips is no longer the play-by-play lead man for Monday Night Raw. It'll be now Adman Burke, as mentioned, with Graves and Saxton. So the return of Corey Graves thrashing Byron Saxton for a few hours each week has also returned, which is a good thing. But some final commercials here for Chicago PD before Monday Night Raw begins. So the Thunderdome setup, it looks the same. They're not in a baseball stadium, though, anymore. So it does sort of look like it did when they were in Orlando at the Amway Center, home of the NBA's Magic. And, it did look the same, I guess, when they were at the Trop, but how they present it, of course, it's always going to look the same. It's the WWE Thunderdome. They can't really change it up unless, they're actually live touring and, each arena is different. It's all virtual. So, of course, tonight, the first, this is why I'm sort of, I guess, stumbling with my words right now in, that regard, because brand new for this Thunderdome. Wasn't expecting, I guess, to see what I just saw because, well, one, we're used to hearing Phillips. We heard Saxton. Nothing against him by any means, but they bring in, Verk. I don't know if they're going to change his name by any means or not. I don't know how he's going to be as a play-by-play guy for pro wrestling. I'm used to hearing him on ESPN, and as mentioned just the other night, I heard him middle of the week last week on MLB Network. So very quick movement with his move to the WWE with the announcement that he'll be taking over. But the Thunderdome, it looks the same as it does, or as had looked the past now almost 10 months, I guess you could say, since SummerSlam, end of last summer, coming up on it at least. But we're back to the Thunderdome. No live fans, at least for another few months. We had live fans this past weekend for WrestleMania, 25,000 plus each night. Hopefully everyone that did attend enjoyed themselves. But yeah, Ms. and Mrs. returns tonight as well. So a fresh start in a lot of different phases. And with that excitement, we'll see what happens now here later on tonight. So yeah, I just have a feeling, as mentioned, don't even really know where I was going with all that. Obviously got caught off guard with the lead-in with Monday Night Raw that, of course, you should always expect about 7:50 here on the East Coast during the final commercial break for whatever show's on before Raw. Currently right now it's Chicago PD. It's either this, NCIS, or I believe just those two. I'm sure there's another detective show that USA runs reruns for, but regardless, nonetheless, that's not relevant. WWE Monday Night Raw is, though, and as mentioned, I have a feeling, Bobby Lashley is going to kick off the show. He defeated McIntyre, retained his title. So, honestly, a few challengers potentially for the Almighty One himself beginning tonight. Because, like I said, normally when they have, whether it's a surprise return, surprise debut, somebody switching brands or, switching it up, fresh start for everyone, clean slate, that they'll start something at the, they'll start whatever they're starting. And I have a feeling it's Lashley tonight because he's WWE champion, of course, at 8 o'clock, be a 10-15 minute segment, go to commercial, and then it'll run throughout the night, and then it'll be in the main event segment, later on, whether it's a match, another, promo segment, or what, we'll see. But, Bobby Lashley, I feel he's going to kick off the show with potentially Braun Strowman interrupting, maybe the return of Brock Lesnar, who's been on a year hiatus as well since last year's WrestleMania. You got The Miz, who, lost the WWE Championship to Lashley after he cashed in on McIntyre at Elimination Chamber, going back a few months now. I mean, Samoa Joe's not on commentary anymore, so we think. Maybe they're moving him to SmackDown, but knock on wood there with him. Hopefully he's cleared to return. He hasn't wrestled in God knows how long. He's been on commentary ever since, but now he's off of commentary. Maybe back to the ring for him. Samoa Joe, Bobby Lashley would tear the house down. Strowman, after he defeated Shane McMahon on Saturday night as well, during night one of WrestleMania this weekend, in that stupid steel cage match. I mean, Strowman, Joe, Keith Lee makes sense as well. Keith Lee with potential return, hopefully. But out of those three, other than a rematch as mentioned with, Drew McIntyre potentially get another opportunity, but he's lost 3 times now in a WWE Championship match since October. So I feel like they're going to move him into something else. And with Sheamus now as your United States champion, as I mentioned last night, I feel like Sheamus McIntyre for the U.S. title would be the best bet there. So yeah, give me Lashley against Strowman, but I wouldn't mind Lesnar coming back, beating the shit out of him, pushing Keith Lee to the moon and back. Samoa Joe also potentially returning too. So, and then you even have the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton after they had another match last night at WrestleMania, with Orton surprisingly picking up the win with Alexa Bliss. So we think turning on the Fiend Bray Wyatt. There's some rumors floating around that hey, there potentially could be 2 Fiends, with whether or not it's actually Bray Wyatt along with his, real life brother in Bo Dallas by his side now as the Fiend as well. I know, people were in the chat last night discussing who, they thought could be Fiend number 2, fake Fiend, if you will, going back to fake Kane. But yeah, Lashley Strowman, Lashley Keith Lee, Lashley Joe, and then Lashley Lesnar with a McIntyre rematch at the top of all that. In that order would be the way I'd go. But then also Fiend and Orton, as mentioned, with The Miz, okay. But Miz and Morrison, hopefully one of those two will turn on one another and we'll get a singles feud out of that. Maybe they team up as a tag team, though, and go up against AJ and Almost for the tag team titles. Maybe even up against Sheamus for the United States Championship, too. But with Lashley's WWE Champion, if they go a different route with, his challenger, and there's a report also floating out in the WWE universe that Randy Orton's going to be taking some time off. I don't know how true that is. I'll believe when I see it, if he's not going to be on TV for however long it's going to be. Did anybody notice last night, whenever Alexa sort of turned on The Fiend when she re-emerged from the Jack in the Box at the bottom of the entrance ramp? She was sitting on the top of that Jack in the Box, changed wardrobes, had a wardrobe change since the entrance. At the start of the match, Fiend went for Sister Abigail, but then, hey, she emerged, and then the tar that Orton's been spitting up, she was covered in that, at least her face was, and Orton then hit an RKO. Orton picks with a win, 1, 2, 3, just like that. But did you see how Alexa was sitting on the top of the Jack in the Box? If you did not, go back and check that out and let me know what you think. She was, in my opinion at least, from what I've seen other people also referring to as with a potential return for Aleister Black at some point in time. I mean, she was dressed in all black. She was literally sitting like him on the top of the Jack in the Box. And then that tar, I mean, that you add it all up, it sort of does make sense. We'll see if, it would even make more sense on top of all this if Orton is going to take time off. And then the Fiend's just going to be returning. Okay, he's, not burned anymore. He's risen. And, he's back to full strength. Well, he's going to need a fresh feud now, too. So maybe the Fiend against Aleister Black. I wouldn't mind that. I'd be in all in for that, at least, moving forward. But we'll see what happens with the WWE Championship picture. As it is 8 o'clock, Raw about to begin. We'll have the new Then Now Together Forever for the WWE opening video package. And then United States Champion Sheamus. I mean, Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy, Jinder potentially returning for a challenge there. I mean, Matt Riddle would get a rematch. Either turn him heel or, as I said last night, team him up with RVD as Cheech and Chong as a tag team. I mean, I think people would buy into that and think it would be funny. Miz and Morrison, as mentioned, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, they've sort of been at it. Maybe, push them. Samoa Joe and Sheamus for the U.S. title. If they don't want to put Joe in the main championship picture just yet, okay. And then we'll get into the Raw Tag Team titles, the Raw Women's Championship as well, and then potential call-ups, returns, and or switches throughout the evening. So now, Then Now Together, WWE Forever. We got earlier today Bobby Lashley walking backstage in his Dumb and Dumber orange suit, and MVP by his side, but Matt Riddle strolls up on his scooter. So, I mean, potentially Matt Riddle and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship.
Maybe when I was a kid, I wore tinfoil hat to school for like a year because I thought aliens abducted me because I was getting messages. But then I found out my brace.
Bro.
Listen, I went to war with Drew at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have retained his damn title. Should have lost. Bobby Lashley's come to Monday Night Raw to celebrate his win. So we're going to have a championship celebration, I guess, at some point in time tonight. Anybody could have an opportunity to become WWE champion, yeah. Riddle's right. MVP takes Bobby Lashley's sunglasses.
The same thing that'll happen to them if they step into the ring with me.
So yeah, they're in a new WWE Thunderdome location. They're still in Tampa. They're at the Yingling Center in Tampa, on the campus of South Florida. Okay, Lashley attacks Riddle, makes him shut the hell up, smacks his head off the handlebars on his stroller. Bobby Lashley is going to show Matt Riddle the difference later on tonight on Raw. So I guess we're going to have a WWE Championship match with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle later on tonight in the main event. Hashtag WWE Raw. And Byron Saxton's leading in. Yep. This is Monday Night Raw. And as mentioned, here comes the Almighty One himself, Bobby Lashley, kicking off the Raw after WrestleMania this evening. Yeah, Saxton's doing the play-by-play. He's the lead man right now. Are they waiting to go ringside to introduce Adnan Virk or what? Hashtag WWE Raw when you share this live reaction stream on social media. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button, share, chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, always great appreciated. And bell rings. We're going to have an opening match with Bobby Lashley. So Lashley and Riddle kick off the show, I guess. So yeah, of course, that was earlier today. So Lashley had time to change out of the suit into his wrestling attire. So, okay, now we go ringside. There's Adnan Virk, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton as your announce team for Monday Night Raw. I've always liked Adnan. He's not that bad. When he was with ESPN, it was college football, it was baseball, basketball. I don't think he's going to do that bad a job. It's just, you know, I've never heard him call pro wrestling before, so I'm just going to get used to it. We're going to have a Raw Women's Championship rematch tonight from WrestleMania last night with Rhea Ripley, your new Raw Women's Champion, taking on Asuka. So Rhea's probably going to retain there, and then we'll have a segment with either Charlotte or Becky Lynch returning, I would say. Firefly Funhouse also returns tonight on Monday Night Raw for the first time in months. Bobby Lashley in the ring, about to take on what looks like to be Matt Riddle for the WWE Championship. However, it very well could be a non-title match, just to get a feel with what the fans, of course, are going to think about all this. But it's all virtual once again. There's no live fans like WrestleMania this past weekend, so they're going to do what they want. Here comes Riddle, strolling down to the ring on his scooter, on his bro-mobile. And then Lashley attacks ringside with a big clothesline. And, okay, the bell hasn't officially rung, so this match by any means whatsoever is not yet underway. But we'll get into the action officially in the ring once this match gets started here in a second. But Lashley continuing the attack now ringside, driving Riddle into the barricade. Ref telling Lashley, hey, let's get this in the ring, let's get this match underway. They're just trying to fill some time right now. He'll probably keep attacking them until they take a damn commercial break, and then they'll come back and start the match. And then they'll get a half hour, 45 minutes out of this. But they got about 5 weeks to build for Backlash on May the 16th. So rematches, yeah, as mentioned, we're going to get those, no doubt about it. We always do. And then, you know, they'll, in the process of all this, too, start the new feuds. So We'll see how good the Raw after Mania is tonight. I mean, in the past few years, it really hasn't been that bad. I noticed they actually put some virtual fans in the Thunderdome on the hard camera side here up by the entrance, which they have never had before. It's always just been empty. But, so, I mean, technically that is a new look for the Thunderdome, if you will. But other than that, I mean, it all looks the same as it has since they introduced it. And Adnan has not done a bad job so far. I mean, I just feel bad for Phillips. Bell rings, match underway, John Cone, your official referee. Because, I mean, Michael Cole's getting up there in age. You go back to when he replaced JR, and, you know, JR was, you know, basically put out the pasture before they got rid of him. And then now, of course, he's in AEW. But, you know, after Cole went to Raw and replaced JR, SmackDown really, lead guy at least, I mean, they were changing them left and right. One after another like it was nothing. Lashley with a spear into the corner on Matt Riddle, MVP ringside. Neck breaker in the middle of the ring. But, you know, Phillips has been like the next in line behind Michael Cole. So, I'm not saying put Michael Cole out the pasture by any means. But, you know, he's in charge of all the announcers anyway. Of course, he's staying on TV for the time being, but if they're going to have a new play-by-play guy for Raw with Adnan Vert coming in, well, put Phillips on SmackDown and have Vert be on Raw and Cole not anywhere, but Cole's, to them at least, too good to not have on TV, I guess. So Phillips, from what I heard, is going to go on 205 Live, but he's also done WWE NXT UK in the past. So we'll see what happens with all that. I mean, it is what it is. Corey Graves to Byron Saxton. Maybe Riddle can stand on the pegs of your bicycle. Corey Graves. Awesome on commentary. Lashley, just a moment ago, actually threw Riddle's scooter into the crowd as well. And now he's attacking him ringside, picking him up. Gonna throw him over the barricade, front row, into those virtual fans. Under the concrete cement floor. I'm sure they had a pad there for him to land on, but they fade to black and head to the first commercial break of the evening for Monday Night Raw here this evening for Raw after Mania. So we'll get back to the action momentarily with Lashley and Matt Riddle. I don't believe this is an official WWE Championship match, but they're just in the process of making Bobby Lashley look as strong as possible. He'll probably beat Riddle. It looks like Riddle might end up doing something else, and then somebody comes out after Lashley wins and attacks him, and then you get your feud there with whoever it's going to be. As mentioned, whether, you know, Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, and then a Brock Lesnar return maybe, but then McIntyre's going to get another rematch. You know he will, and, you know, I'm all for that. I don't mind. I mean, I thought Lashley shouldn't have retained, but he did, so it is what it is. We live with it, but we'll see what gives, because something's got to throughout the next few hours on Monday Night Raw this evening. So once more, thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play live right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Untitled Sports, Cool Game Week 96. Like, follow, and subscribe, thumbs up button, share, keep those chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers rolling. I'll get to them in a second. So, we'll get back to the action with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 37 this past weekend on the road to, well, NXT tomorrow, SmackDown at the end of the week, but then Backlash a little over a month away. A month from this Friday, actually. And with how they put it last night, how they presented it, it's going to be WrestleMania Backlash rather than just Backlash this year. So change the name of the pay-per-view first time in quite a while. But if they do, because as they are going, you know, back old school with Backlash after Mania as it used to be, and last year they had Payback after SummerSlam. So, maybe this is a new direction. They're going to, change up a few names of pay-per-views. I thought about this last night, actually, with, okay, if it is going to be WrestleMania Backlash for Backlash, okay, have WrestleMania Backlash after WrestleMania, but then have SummerSlam Payback after SummerSlam. Just make sure it's a little more than a week after SummerSlam. But if they want to run, back-to-back pay-per-views in a 2-week span, okay, so be it. We tuned in then, we'll tune in again. So, only time's going to tell, but we'll see what happens. And as mentioned, we'll get back to the action here momentarily on Monday Night Raw. So, thank you once again for tuning in and watching. I unfortunately have not watched, not yet at least, Chris Jericho on Broken Skull session with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, with streaming, live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Of course, AEW Dynamite and NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver last week. Mania the past 2 nights. Raw tonight right now. NXT tomorrow, AEW on Wednesday again, and then SmackDown at the end of the week. I'm sure that's a good hour and a half, 2-hour interview, and I'd like to give myself actually some time to sit down and watch it thoroughly, rather than just have it on and listen to what they're saying. I'd actually like to hear what Jericho and Austin are discussing, what they're talking about. I know I've seen some clips of a few of the topics, but I normally do end up watching all the Broken Skull session interviews for Stone Cold, for the ones that I like, at least, that with whoever he interviews. So, of course, I think everyone saw this as a surprise that Jericho was going to be on. They come back from commercial break, though, on Monday Night Raw. Lashley still in full control in the ring of Riddle. Hit him with a suck-ass DDT there. Kick out at 2 then on the pin, and now he's just beating his head in with some right hands. So they added in some more virtual seats for this WWE Thunderdome virtual audience up by the entrance ramp there, cut in the corner. And it does look like the entrance for tonight is a little bit different from Monday Night Raw than what we're used to seeing. So, a dazed and confused face for Matt Riddle. I love Adnan already. I already did, but I love it more now. Referencing good movie for, that topic, that genre, if you will, I guess, for Matt Riddle's character being dazed and confused, smoked out of his mind. So, all right. Bobby Lashley high fives MVP ringside as he's still in control of Matt Riddle. Vertical suplex. But he's more of a kitten. Meow. Did Adnan just call Matt Riddle a pussy on Monday Night Raw? I believe he did. I think that's what he was getting at. I'm not saying Matt Riddle is, but I'm saying that's what I heard. So, take it for a grain of salt, I guess. Riddle with a stomp to the wrist. And with Adnan, as mentioned, taking over Phillips on Raw. I'm sure, like I said last night, Coachman had a say, or not even a say, just a bit of a helping hand, and getting him in the door. And that's the thing with Coachman. He was in the WWE before he went to ESPN, and now Adnan, after he last year before, was released by ESPN as they mutually parted ways. FS1, MLB Network, since now with WWE. He's coming to the pro wrestling world after all that, so it's flip-flops. But, I'm sure, as mentioned, they're friends, and, he helped them out a little bit. Because from what I heard, as mentioned, I believe I said this Saturday, not last night now, that he auditioned back in February. And, they said yeah. And, he's now on Monday Night Raw as the play-by-play. So Riddle misses the moonsault off the top rope, and then Lashley. Did somebody just yell McIntyre? Somebody just yelled Drew McIntyre on commentary. I don't know who it was, but Lashley, with a Chris Masters lock of his, makes Riddle submit. The ref actually just called for the bell, so Lashley picks up the win. He's victorious. He's still WWE champion, even though this wasn't a championship match. So now, who's going to come out to Bobby Lashley right now on Monday Night Raw? That's the big question. Are we going to hear Choo Choo, Strowman Express on its way? Is Braun Strowman going to be the next challenger for Bobby Lashley? Is it going to be Keith Lee, Limitless One himself? No, they're talking about Rhea and Asuka, and Lashley's exiting the ring. And they're going to go to last night with a highlight from WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley and Asuka, which was the co-main event. But to me, as I said last night, I felt like they were just going through the movements with the championship on the line until, of course, towards the end with the finish. But they really need to figure out their women's division. And they need to figure out their damn tag team division, too. Like, it's pathetic. And it all circles back around to, as I always say, the booking. So I'll leave it at that for now. But we do have two new women's champions with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley on SmackDown and Raw, respectively. Two new mid-card champions as well, I should say, with... of course, Sheamus defeating Matt Riddle, and then Riddle just losing to Bobby Lashley. And then Apollo Crews and that Nigerian drum fight last night, defeating Big E with the help of Del Cato. And now Dan Patrick backstage with an interview with Rhea Ripley. So is Charlotte or Becky going to walk up and interrupt this interview? Or are they going to wait until after the match? She's actually the first Australian to ever win a WWE championship, I learned. Which actually isn't true, because Peyton Royce and Billie Kay won the tag team titles. But what they're referring to is she's the first Australian to win like a main event singles championship, which I get, I understand it, but sometimes you gotta be more specific when you're trying to prove facts. So Rhea Ripley's ready for Asuka. She was ready. She beat her. Now she's ready for her again, and they're going to fade to black and take us to another commercial break for Miz and Mrs. And I guess Miz found a secret room in his house, and he was beating the drums before Maurice caught him and did whatever. But if you've never watched Miz and Mrs., I highly recommend watching it. It is pretty funny. But still to come later on tonight, Rhea Ripley and Asuka, the Raw Women's Championship rematch from WrestleMania. But other than that, with Bobby Lashley and Riddle and Rhea and Asuka, we don't know what the hell else is going to happen tonight on Raw. So only time's going to tell. So we'll see over the next 2.5 hours or so. But once again, thanks for tuning in and watching. And back to Jericho and Stone Cold on the network. I absolutely, love the idea. All the cross promotion that the wrestling world's finally getting to, but I just haven't had the time to sit down and watch it yet. So we'll see what happens here tonight. And with the Thunderdome, I mean, they're doing what they're doing because really they can't do anything else. Their hands are still tied, just like everyone's are. So you got to give them credit to an extent. I mean, I personally did try out the Thunderdome last month. You can go check out that video right here on the channel. Wasn't that bad, but just it's not the same. It's not, which I understand what you're saying. It's just, it's not actually being there live, in living color, live in person, watching the event as it happens. You're watching off a monitor from whatever device you're in the Thunderdome on, and then they tell you to turn it on the TV as well so you can watch both. And then, of course, that's when you really see the 7-second delay with what they're putting out and then what they're putting out for you to watch on TV. So yeah, just be sure to go check out the video. I explained all about the Thunderdome. There I did Raw and a SmackDown just to see if anything would be different. Really wasn't that much of a difference, but yeah, it's just not the same. So they do need fans back. I mean, they had fans back, WrestleMania this past weekend, but there's only so much they can do. So hopefully, eventually, we'll all get back to normal, and hopefully everyone's doing well and staying safe.
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. It's the first and only FDA-approved combination of Advil plus acetaminophen. Advil targets pain. Acetaminophen blocks it. Advil Dual Action. Fast pain relief that lasts 8 hours. 2020, been a wild one. And Twisted Tea is saluting everyone who gets wild with it. Like this guy who built a catapult tea launcher to send his buddy some tea. Every time you turn up and do something awesome, you show the world we still got some rallies. Man, can we rally? Give it Twisted!
Now back on Raw with Cedric Alexander, it looks like. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin in the ring getting the jobber entrance during the commercial. Bell rings. And we'll have a tag team match next on Monday Night Raw. And here come the Viking Raiders. All right, War Machine back on Raw. Haven't seen them in quite some time, fall on injury. They're going to hopefully at least push them and have them beat AJ and Almost at some point in time. Because they're an actual tag team. You look at all the other tag teams the WWE has, for the most part, I guess, they're just all thrown and put together. They're not an actual tag team. These guys have, I'm not saying the other ones don't have chemistry, but these guys, Eric and Ivar, as they're now the Viking Raiders, they've been together for how long? They've been through a few name changes, but War Machine, Viking Raiders back on Raw. So, I mean, I think we sort of saw this coming. But good to see them back, and like I said, hopefully they'll make them the new #1 contender at some point in time here. They're definitely going to beat Shelton and Cedric. There's no doubt about it. Like I swear, if Shelton and Cedric win this, like, what's the point of having them come back? So they're going to win. Tag made. Shelton goes after Oh, don't tell me they're already injured again. Of course, he's selling it. Left knee, and then a knee to the face from Shelton to the Viking Raiders, and kick out at 2. Yeah, Firefly Funhouse does return tonight as well. So at least we'll have that I'd look forward to, I guess. A couple big power slams now from Shelton Benjamin. And I believe it was Eric this time around, the bald one, right? If I'm not mistaken. Eric and Ivar. They both have beards. One has long hair, though. He was the one that was injured for this past cycle. The one before that, the other one was injured. And that's why ever since they've gotten called up to the main roster over the past 2 years, you know, it's injury, injury, injury. They can't stay healthy. And I mean, maybe that's why they haven't got pushed to the extent that they would like and the WWE would like. Another tag mate, here comes Cedric. Former Cruiserweight champion, if I'm not mistaken. Give me Shelton and Sheamus for the U.S. title. I wouldn't mind that, but they're not going to break up this other half of the Hurt Business. So I don't know if they're going to have a new tag team name for Cedric and Shelton, you know, starting sometime soon or not. Probably not. But they are still in the same in-ring gear that they had while in the Hurt Business, you know, same color scheme. So I would think you probably want to change that up a little bit, I guess, to distance yourself, you know, even more, unless there's a plan on getting Hurt Business back together now. Even just a few weeks ago, prior to WrestleMania, breaking them up, but now they're back minus the live fans in the Thunderdome, and I wouldn't mind getting Hurt Business back together. And Lashley, just as with Reigns as champion on SmackDown, hopefully Jim Uso returns. You know, they could have the whole family as champs, with Reigns as Universal Champion and the Usos with Jay and Jimmy as your tag champs. And then have Cedric and Shelton be tag team champions again, just as they did when Lashley was WWE champion. And, you know, have the whole faction, the whole group, be doused in gold. But the Viking Raiders, they're going to be put up against AJ and Almost for those tag team titles, I would think, and they're going to end up winning them at some point in time. Kick out at 2. And then AJ, you know, hopefully after all that, gets back to a singles run, and they have him do something other than what he is currently doing, with his bodyguard being a partner of his and a co-champion in a tag team. So both the Viking Raiders and the Hurt Business down and out. Tag are going to be made. Adnan, it feels like he's a second or two behind with getting it in with what's going on. But it's his first actual live Raw, so yeah, it's going to take some time. But he's not doing that bad of a job. He knows what he's doing. You know, he's a good broadcaster. Yeah, Ivar with a nice crossbody there off the ropes. And, you know, he's getting used to Vince yelling in his ear for 3 hours, too. So Vince is going to get what Vince wants. Cedric tags in. At least he knows who everybody is, and I don't think he's messed up yet with anybody's name. But I thought somebody did yell McIntyre after Lashley won against Riddle earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, I have to go back and listen to it, but I thought I heard McIntyre from one of the three of them. Of course, but that's a recent storyline of Lashley, you know, defeating him just at WrestleMania this past weekend. The Viking Experience finisher cover for the Viking Raiders. War Machine with the win on the Hurt Business and Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, even though they split them. They pick up the win on Monday Night Raw here this evening in the first tag team match of the new year for the WWE post WrestleMania 37 this past weekend. A few replays and just hopeful for no injuries for the Viking Raiders that are from Minneapolis and Oakland, LA, and Vegas respectively. But they pick up the win on Monday Night Raw. So we've seen a singles match and now a tag team match in the men's division on Monday Night Raw. Now Asuka warming up backstage. She's going to get interrupted by Kevin Patrick with an interview. So now he's interviewed both Rhea and Asuka. So at some point in time here shortly, I would think Rhea is going to defend that Raw Women's Championship again in a WrestleMania rematch against Asuka coming up here on Monday Night Raw. Rhea she needs to be ready because coming up next it'll be Rhea Ripley and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship again. WrestleMania rematch from last night, not even 24 hours ago. But Asuka saying this time she's going to be ready and she's going to come out on top. She's going to regain her championship, and if she does, okay, Becky comes out. If Rhea retains, still champion, Charlotte comes out. But then, you know, both of them could come out to, you know, either of them though too. But I feel like because with the history, you have Becky last May relinquishing the championship because of her pregnancy. Asuka won the Money in the Bank the night before. Asuka's been champion ever since, basically, until she lost last night. You have that, okay, so Becky comes back to Asuka. If Asuka wins tonight, which she's not going to, Rhea's going to retain. But then Rhea and Charlotte, because Charlotte thought, okay, it'd be a triple threat, but they kept her off of Mania because they thought she was pregnant, but of course that was false. And then, okay, you have her come out. But then you can have both of them potentially come out to either of them. So maybe both come out to both during the match or even after, and then to fix the women's division, there's a fatal four-way. Why the hell not get them all back involved? But you're probably going to want to have one on Raw, one on SmackDown. Seth's on Raw, or on SmackDown, excuse me. As he just lost to Cesaro. So, and they like to keep talent together. But there's not really a whole lot of travel right now. So, other than, of course, when they're coming into the show and then leaving, you know, it's not 5 nights a week. So that really doesn't matter, I guess. Becky would make more sense, I think, on Raw, because that's where she was when she left. Charlotte was just on Raw, so, I mean, it makes sense to have her come back just a few weeks after all that to Raw. But then her on SmackDown with Bianca now, maybe. But maybe even Becky and Charlotte's a tag team to take out Nia and Shayna. I don't know. It'll depend, of course, on what they decide to do, but those are just some thoughts. Becky's going to be glad to be back whenever she does come back to Monday Night Raw, but so yeah, we'll see what happens. Here's a Peacock commercial. WWE Network now exclusive to Peacock. But it'll be Rhea Ripley and Asuka coming up next right now at WrestleMania. the Raw after WrestleMania, I should say, as we see some WrestleMania highlights from this past weekend with 25,000 plus that are in the stands. Here comes Charlotte. Charlotte's coming out even before Rhea and Asuka, before their match. Charlotte Flair's back on Raw. Alright. And she's in dress clothes, so she's not going to be in action. But Charlotte Flair has officially returned. Yeah, they did change up the Raw entrance. It's a little skinnier. Hopefully she doesn't trip and fall like Mandy did coming out on WrestleMania Saturday. But yeah, then they also have, as mentioned, more virtual seats up there right next to the entrance. Well, at least we know who Adnan's new crush is, and it's Charlotte Flair. So just as Michael Cole goes nuts for Sasha, Adnan, him and Charlotte are a new thing. She gets some help from a cameraman to get into the ring. And, okay, you can tell she's going to be a heel. But, like I said over the weekend, they're trying to make her dad, which she's not. She's not the Nature Boy. She's not Ric Flair. So, Charlotte not happy to not be a part of WrestleMania. Well, tough shit. Get over it. So she's going to cut a promo. I mean, maybe Becky comes out to her and they start a feud with those two. So we've seen the Viking Raiders and Charlotte Flair return on Raw after Mania so far tonight. And the night's still young.
I wasn't welcomed at WrestleMania. You know, the biggest stage that all the talent dream of being on.
You were welcomed. They just didn't have a spot for you because it just doesn't make sense sometimes to throw shit together and see if it sticks. Just to do it to do it. But that's how the WWE booking is sometimes. And then they wonder why people don't watch.
No. I am a franchise player.
A franchise player?
And what I do
What is this, the NFL?
Sacred to my family. And here's the thing, it wasn't my fault that I wasn't on WrestleMania. I wasn't on WrestleMania for things that I could not control. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, they thought she was pregnant.
You think it was my fault that Asuka needed a tag team partner?
So maybe that's why they got rid of Andrade. Now they released him, and hopefully he's gonna be on to bigger and better things because they misused him. I don't know how bad. Jesus Christ. And Lacey's on the shelf. She's pregnant. I mean, what the hell's going on backstage? It's not my fault. This is Charlotte's new ego. It's not my fault. It's yours.
But you know what? That opportunist, Rhea Ripley, challenged Asuka.
Okay, she name drops Rhea. She's going to say she wants to challenge the winner of Rhea and Asuka. And then there's your new championship feud, and it'll be Rhea and Charlotte, and Asuka will do something else. And then they could have Asuka and Io Shirai if they're going to bring her up from NXT to challenge Nia and Shannon for those women's tag team titles, which that would probably be the best out of everything I've said. Oh my God, I'm a basic bitch in 8th grade. biggest snake in the locker room? I'm sure you've told Andrade that before, but of course that'd be the Viper Randy Orton.
Rematch on Raw the night after WrestleMania? Oh, you know what they say?
Karma's a bitch. Ain't that the truth? And Charlotte is that bitch. So, the bitch is back on Monday Night Raw. Elton John going to perform our entrance music next week too? No one compares to me. Nobody's ready for Asuka, but nobody compares to Charlotte Flair, I guess now. Raw's not actually that bad so far. I take them. I am the opportunity, okay? Charlotte Flair is the opportunity. She just called us all delusional. No, no, no. Not today. This is the new Charlotte Flair. Bow down to the queen? No, I'll pass. You're really only in this spot because of your dad, so I'll leave it at that.
Show some respect to what I have brought to this industry. Hell, I've dedicated years of my life to this business. Years.
She has, but it doesn't stack against a few others.
And what have any of you,
especially you say Becky and Bayley. But the four horsewomen from a few years ago goes Becky, Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, with Sasha being at the bottom of the totem pole. And then Charlotte with a mic drop to close out the promo. Her music hits, and this seems to be it, you know. Your typical heel. Typical heel promo, at least. So Charlotte, yeah, she'll be up against Rhea after Rhea beats Asuka. And in the meantime, speak of the devil, here comes Asuka. And it seems to me they'll be taking a commercial break right now as well, before the match does in fact get underway. Yeah, so it would be Charlotte and Rhea. Yeah, put Asuka and Io together as a tag team. Have them take out Nia and Shayna because they need to figure out women's tag team titles too. Viking Raiders are back. We'll figure out the tag team division there for the men, for Raw at least, up against AJ and Almos. Lashley's still WWE champion. Riddle challenged him earlier, but it was a non-title match, and Lashley with the win. So then we still don't know who Lashley's next challengers are going to be, at least, on whether or not there could be another rematch with Drew McIntyre, as this WrestleMania rematch is about to take place, but a commercial break in the meantime. So we'll get back to the action here shortly, but so far other than that, there's not really much else going on. We still got Firefly Funhouse to come later on tonight, but Raw tonight actually hasn't been that bad, I thought. So still early though. Still got a few more hours for Raw, so we'll see what happens next. But Raw tonight so far, average at best. For which normally to this point in time is how it normally is anyway, unless it's like you know, dramatically really, really bad. So, you know, it's a fresh start. You know, like I said, clean slate, starting over. It's the new year, officially on the road to WrestleMania now next year. So, it seems to me we'll have the same schedule with potential few flip-flops with the pay-per-views from now until then, of course, with Backlash now next month rather than Money in the Bank. Going old school Backlash and the Money in the Bank over the summer, June, July sometime, then SummerSlam. So, yeah. If only it was like this all the time, you know, it wouldn't be that hard to watch. Because sometimes it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what the hell is this shit? Like, you really expect us to watch this and enjoy it? Like, come on. So, yeah. Well, actually, a 2-night takeover, SmackDown Mania, then the 2-night Mania, and Raw Night NXT tomorrow on Tuesday for the first time ever, and then AEW, and then SmackDown after Mania this Friday. So a long week and a half. So thank you for tuning in and watching. So yeah, it's pro wrestling for you. Randy and the Fiend, Randy Orton and the Fiend Bray Wyatt. I said it last night on top of saying it numerous times over the past few weeks and months that, in my opinion, everybody has their opinion, but my opinion at least, the current, and we'll see if it's going to continue. It looks like it will, and we'll get Firefly Funhouse later on, so at that point in time we'll figure out what the future holds. But the current Randy Orton Fiend Bray Wyatt storyline that WWE's been playing on Monday Night Raw with Alexa Bliss, for the most part, after Bray was gone from or before Christmas until he returned to Fastlane because he was, you know, burned alive at TLC, you know, she was doing most of the work against Orton. Even without Bray, I thought it was the best feud that they've had on TV in quite a while, at least on Raw. And then SmackDown with what Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan did. Like, one was for a title, the other one wasn't. Sometimes it's like that, but it's the storytelling, you know, it's scripted. Whether you think it's real or fake, it's scripted. And it's storytelling. It's a soap opera, okay? And if you can't see that, like, you probably shouldn't be watching. So, hopefully it'll continue. As mentioned, I said earlier, it's been reported that Randy might be taking some time off, however long that may be. Well, maybe they push, you know, Bray in the meantime. Like I said, look how Alexa was sitting last night when she sort of turned on him. Looked like Alistair with all that tar. Just a thought. Go back and look at it. Just a thought. We'll see what it gives. But then if they push Bray, have Orton come back, but then why do you have Orton pick up the win if that's the route you're going to go? Because why would he come back to Bray after he's already beat him how many times? Like, if he lost to him and was trying to get, you know, vengeance, if you will, okay, it'd be different. But people know, because the story's been going on for how many years now, for God's sakes? Because they had a House of Horrors a few years ago. They had the Firefly Inferno match, and then Bray also did the Firefly Funhouse and Swamp Fights last year as well. And then they opened WrestleMania last night for Night 2 WrestleMania 37 Sunday. So, one of the best, if not the best, I thought it has been the best feud that they've had in quite some time up on the main roster. But now here comes the Ripster, Rhea Ripley, holding that Raw Women's Championship high in the air. She is your new Raw Women's Champion, defeating Asuka last night. Now a WrestleMania rematch tonight on the Raw after Mania. So thank you for tuning in and watching. So now maybe Becky with Charlotte, you know, sort of, you know, saying she's next in line. She is the opportunity, and she'll take on Rhea, for what it looks like, at least right now. We'll see what happens here. But then, if they do have Becky come back, well, okay, well, it's a triple threat. And from what I heard last night, fans really wanted Becky Lynch to return last night at WrestleMania. That's why I said, if they're going to have a return at Mania, get the pop that they want, well, you better do it now, because they go back to Thunderdome tomorrow now, tonight for Raw. And it's going to be a few more months until fans get back. But it's not like, you know, people aren't watching and reacting as I am, and, you know, it's not like it's out there that they're not going to see, because they'll know. They know that people are going to go apeshit whenever she does, in fact, you know, come back around. So, bell rings, match underway, Rhea Ripley and Asuka. It's just different, of course, but like I said, you know, they're doing, you know, what they can in these times, as all of us are. So it is what it is when it's all said and done. You got to look at it one way or another. So Rhea and Asuka, WrestleMania Raw Women's Championship rematch on Monday Night Raw.
Rhea Ripley just throwing her like a ragdoll. Asuka, you can see the pain there, especially the lower back. Rhea Ripley saunters around that ring, carries herself as if she belongs to be here. She belongs as Raw Women's Champion. She belongs on top of the mountain, because she wants everybody to know. Look at this, once more, the brutality being displayed by the new Raw Women's Champion, just launching Asuka halfway across the ring by her hair. Rhea Ripley is aware of what happens. It's one thing to be a champion, but now you want to stay on top. Asuka gets turned around, and Asuka now, a cover, a quick kick out there, won by Ripley, but she was surprised, and now takes that kick to the midsection. Catches Asuka here, now throws her down.
Quick roll up into an armbar after a kick out on a pin. Now a rope break. And the thing with Adnan on commentary with Graves and Saxon, as they reunite, and we get Graves burying him on commentary for a few hours. You know, everybody's different. Each broadcaster is going to have their own way of calling what they see, you know, including myself. So, drop kick, send Asuka ringside. It's just going to take some time to get used to Adnan, because we've been used to Tom Phillips, you know, calling Monday Night Raw for how long now. Meantime, we fade to black, head to another commercial break on Monday Night Raw this evening. But currently, if you're just now tuning in, it is Rhea Ripley and Asuka in a Raw Women's Championship match from WrestleMania this past weekend.
Millions of people are saying yes to Allegra, including the experts. It's the #1 allergist-recommended brand for non-drowsy relief. Allegra works 2 times faster than Claritin, so you can get going first thing. It lasts up to 6 times longer than Benadryl.
As mentioned earlier, we'd get into the Raw Tag Team titles and the, you know, Raw Women's Championship feuds for, you know, potential challengers. As mentioned with, you know, Bobby Lashley and Sheamus as your WWE and US champs. I mean, we sort of can tell with, you know, AJ and Almost as your Raw Tag champs that the Viking Raiders, since they returned, are going to be, you know, the new #1 contender at some point in time. But like I said, maybe Miz and Morrison. Hopefully they'll turn on each other, and then we'll get a singles feud out of that. You stick up the New Day in a rematch, maybe. You know, Hurt Business was up against Viking Raiders earlier, so maybe them as well. But, I mean, okay, Riddle lost to Sheamus and now Bobby Lashley in back-to-back nights. Maybe, like I said last night, a little fancy booking, if you will, but if they're going to have RVD come back now he's in the Hall of Fame, part-time, full-time, whatever it's going to be, and, you know, I think everybody knows what his, you know, lifestyle is like, whether or not that's his character on screen all the time or not, and then Riddle's character is RVD's lifestyle, it would, to me at least, make sense to fix the goddamn tag division that put them together as a tag
You
team.
made the deal too good.
I just said Cheech and Chong. I mean, whatever the hell name you'd want to come up for them, okay. I mean, that's, a question to be asked and answered at a later date. But Riddle and RVD as a, high as shit tag team, as champions, maybe. I think people would like that. I feel that would be something that the WWE would see as, okay, this is stupid, but it's funny. Whether there's fans or not there, okay, they might like it, they might not, but we need to fix this tag team division in the meantime. Let's, go this route for a second or two, see if it works, and then, go from there. Just a thought, just an idea of mine, but what good have I ever said? So, there's that, and then as mentioned, as we come back from commercial break now, Rhea Ripley and Asuka for the Raw Women's title. Big clothesline there from Rhea. It's really Rhea, Asuka, Becky, and Charlotte. Those are your 4 on Monday Night Raw that are, true main event. Other than Shayna Baszler, who unfortunately is still up with Nia Jax as a tag team as women's tag champs. If Shayna was, or if they would have lost last night and they would have split them, well, Shayna would be in the mix in this category as well. But other than those 4, there's nobody else. But it looks like it's going to be Rhea and Charlotte. Asuka may be in a tag team with Io. They call her up, which will lead me into potential call-ups, returns, or switches from brands. Hopeful for an Aleister Black, Keith Lee return at some point in time. Maybe Big E challenges Reigns for the Universal title. Maybe he challenges Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, along with Keith Lee challenging Lashley for the WWE title as well. And then Corbin, a switch from SmackDown to Raw as of late, with aligning himself with Lashley in the Hurt Business. Maybe that. And then really the only call-ups I could see from NXT, for the men at least, other than Io from the women's division. And I get they brought back Dabba-Kato to have him bodyguard Apollo's new IC champ. And as we hit the 9 o'clock hour with the closing credits for the new fresh hour in between, if you're just now tuning in to this hashtag women's title match, be sure to use that hashtag and share on social media. We'll have a almighty WWE Championship celebration, it looks like, still to come as well. So Lashley kicking off the show, going to be in the main event segment as well. Asuka cover, kick out at 2 by Rhea. But really from the men, from NXT, the only call-ups I could see happening, other than maybe a few that people aren't going to really care about, as they always do anyway. And they might, well, because Retribution's, I just thought of this, no longer together either. Repackage Dijak, make him Dominic Dijak again, rather than T-Bar. And okay, he's a challenger for the U.S. title or IC champion on Raw and SmackDown, respectively. But it'd really just be Adam Cole, Finn Balor, and Velveteen Dream, who nobody's seemed to care about as of late, or even seen in quite a while. So, just a few thoughts once more, but wrapping that up from earlier before Raw began, and now here at 9 o'clock with Rhea Ripley and Asuka in this WrestleMania rematch. Ref checks the shoulders, cover, kick out at 2. Gave Asuka another extra second or 2 there to kick out. And she's holding her mouth. I don't know if she's selling that real well, or she actually needs some work done to her teeth. I mean, there is a dentist in pro wrestling. She's on Wednesday nights. You can, call her up, the Dr. DMD, Britt Baker herself, and get a cavity filled or some sort of adjustment. Drop kick misses from Rhea, and then a running knee from Asuka also misses. Asuka now on the, what the hell was that? Jesus Christ, come on. What kind of botch was that? Asuka was going to go on the shoulders of Rhea, and then Rhea just they both fell down at the same time and didn't even go anywhere. Now they're going to try it again on this side of the ropes, hard camera side. And Rhea with Asuka on her shoulders. Gonna drop her. Samoan drop. I think Rhea went a little too far with that. Hurt herself more than she did Asuka. But, yeah. This match, just as it was last night, 1-2 and kick out. To me, at least, it seems like they're just going through the motions. And now, even tonight, it's a little more screwy than it was. I mean, it's not as bad as that tag team tournament match, for God's sakes. That was all over the place. But it is what it is. I mean, if only, just like anything, could be 10 times better, you know, all right then. But just, I don't even know what to say. This is worse than last night.
Trying to pry the grasp of the Empress from her chin, from her shoulder. There's power coming into play right there to escape the Asuka lock. And again, not going to score any style points with an escape like that. It goes back to the exhaustion Asuka's got to be feeling from last night. Only going to finish the Asuka. Whoa! Asuka face first, that'll do it. Let's see if this is it. If Rhea Ripley can retain the championship, but again, Asuka showing remarkable fortitude here, fellas. The fact she is prolonging this, and again, there's the frustration we are not accustomed to seeing on the champion's face. You oftentimes don't learn who a superstar truly is until they
Another kick out there at 2. This match continues once more.
To be the top of the mountain. We know Asuka's done it before. Rhea thought she had it here, but Asuka continues to fight.
Now on the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring. Rhea gets driven into the ring post. Asuka from behind, gonna rear view and then slam her down head first. Jesus Christ. Can this match get any more dangerous? Like, 2 count from the official, get them both back in the ring. Watch, we'll have a count out. Rhea's gonna retain. Here comes Charlotte from behind. All right, disqualification. Charlotte from behind attacking Asuka. Driving her into the barricade. Charlotte now with a big boot to Rhea Ripley. If they had Becky come out right now to all this too, that'd be good. It'd be good.
Queen had said, I don't steal the opportunities, I am the opportunity, and now that shot to Asuka. And we've taken away that opportunity indeed for Asuka and the Raw Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Oh, just going around Asuka. Charlotte Flair is...
Charlotte with the attack. Charlotte with an attack on Asuka and Rhea Ripley to end this match. Rhea still your Raw Women's Champion. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. I'm back. And it seems to me she keeps telling the cameraman, hey, you need to do this for me, you need to do that. Her getting in and out of the ring, her shoes actually came off in the process of making this attack, so it seemed like when she was just walking, she wants her shoes back. Like, you're my butler. And she gets her shoes back, so Charlotte standing tall on both Rhea Ripley and Asuka. And now The Miz and John Morrison backstage. And there's Maurice. Maurice is back on Raw.
Oh my God. Hey, what are you doing this night? Of course she's here. You're a guest on Miz TV tonight.
Maurice is the guest on Miz TV tonight.
I mean,
And okay, there's the tension with Miz and Morrison. Miz just leaves him in the dust. Alexa's Playground up next. So we're getting an Alexa's Playground and Firefly Funhouse and Miz TV all still to come later on tonight. All right. So yeah, Morrison's going to turn on Miz. And then his wife, as Maurice's wife is back on TV, Miz and Maurice, of course, Miz and Mrs. turns tonight. Taya Valkyrie, from what we think, being rebranded as Frankie Monet in NXT. Well, maybe, as I said over the weekend at some point in time, they fast track her to the main roster, just don't even really do a whole lot with her NXT and doesn't have her up on Raw if needed, if they do a mixed tag match. But yeah, Morrison's going to turn on Miz here. This will be a little bit later on. Having some connection issues with the chat, so if you have...
Confused? Maybe you just need the sniffers. Walter, did you know Geico can save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? World's strongest man Martins Leetsies to help you break down boxes.
What am I gonna do to you, boss? Let me break it down for you. For $1 now at Arby's, still got curlies at the Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza. You don't have to either.
If you're a guy morning, take it from me, Frank Thomas. And Jake's whole team. Whenever you feel like the man used to be.
Like that stuff actually works.
Hey, buddy, up here.
The key ingredient in eugenics is clinical research. You're totally right.
Hey, buddy, check it out. My workout's a lot better. I'm feeling stronger and more energetic. A lot Cinetech. Still top 30 ball. Come on. It's stuck in park right now.
And trust me, she'll be too.
Hey, guys, it's time to start your...
To get your complimentary bottle of award-winning Eugenics Total Tea, text SOAR to 369-369. Samples are not available in stores. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Eugenics Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you get back in shape fast. Absolutely free. That's SOAR to 369-369.
You know who I am. Business.
You see that blow up Miami? Only blow up.
All right, now we're back. Following a few technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Thank you for continued support. Thank you for watching WWE Monday Night Raw live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. And honestly, that couldn't have come at a better time as they went into a commercial break, and then the technical difficulties on my end during the whole entire commercial break. And now we're just about to come out of the commercial break with a SmackDown preview for Friday Night SmackDown this week, and then we'll head to Alexa's Playground with Alexa Bliss. Actually, we're gonna go back to Saturday for WrestleMania, and Mandy Rose slipping and falling, walking down to the ring, and okay, there's Nia and Shayna watching it on playback, just rewinding it, playing it again, play it again.
It was really embarrassing, to be honest.
So as they watch that back of Mandy slipping and falling at WrestleMania, Mandy walks up to both Nia and Shayna. Shayna actually walks away. So it's Mandy and Nia, and she slaps her right across the face. And then here comes Dana Brooke. They're going to drive Nia into some pole. No wardrobe malfunction or slipping and falling tonight, though. But, I mean, right there, that seems to me that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are going to be the first challengers for Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler post WrestleMania here for those WWE Women's Tag Team titles. And now we're at Alexa's playground as she's swinging on her swing.
WrestleMania was so much fun.
WrestleMania was so much fun. It was. It actually wasn't that bad of a show.
Why I did what I did.
Why did I do what I did?
Maybe this little story will help explain.
Okay, now she's got herself a story that she's going to tell us, explaining her actions.
She was rescued. Of the darkness.
That Alexa Bliss was rescued by the darkness and the Fiend Bray Wyatt,
The darkness protected her
turning to Sister Alexa.
and taught her everything it knew.
And she was taught and learned everything that she now does in fact know.
But then the darkness went away.
But then the darkness went away whenever Orton burned him alive.
I wonder,
She wonders,
is that when the little girl realized that she may have never needed the darkness?
in the first place, yeah, Alexa might have not even needed the darkness in the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Now the flashback highlights in this most recent feud.
She could do everything on her own.
Alexa gonna move on and do everything by herself?
Helping her?
Yeah, what is stopping her?
Or did she decide it was just standing in her way?
It was standing in her way, so she turned on the Fiend.
I mean, why else would she use what she was taught to try to destroy the darkness?
So Alexa destroying the darkness. There's that RKO from Orton after all the tar
Is it true what they say? Is the female
ran down her face when she reemerged from the Jack in the Box.
You never know.
You never know.
There's one thing we do know for sure.
One thing we do know for sure. What's that?
Along the way, I unlocked something truly evil.
She unlocked something truly evil.
Meet my new friend Lily.
Meet my new friend Lily. Who the hell is Lily? Alright, Alexa's got herself a doll. And it looks like the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss had a kid. Our fun
Just getting
is just now beginning. The sky's the limit for Bray and Alexa with Firefly Funhouse and Alexa's Playground. With all this evilness that they could put in it. Her. Alright. Yeah, I'm digging that. I mean, I've always liked Bray. I thought adding Alexa into the fold made a ton of sense. They waited too long to do it, but at least they did, in fact, do it. And hey, I'm sure Bray's going to have something to say during Firefly Funhouse. But we'll see what happens. Now, awesome. Here comes The Miz. And his wife's coming out as well, Maurice, on Monday Night Raw. First time in quite a while. Of course, Miz and Mrs. returns tonight after Raw.
It's like an extra day of WrestleMania. It's the A-list
And
Monday Night Raw.
now John Morrison, too. He's going to turn on Miz. Now listen. Make believe. Open your eyes and see. That's what he's going to tell The Miz. Hey, you need to open your eyes and see what the hell's going on because, you know, she's now in the middle of us. And, you know, I'm not liking it. Like, I get that she's your wife, but, like, I've had enough and, you know, yeah, he's going to turn on him. Morrison's going to turn on The Miz. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if The Miz turns on Morrison, but I feel like Morrison turned on The Miz, it'd be a little bit bigger and better. And then they could get, you know, Tay involved too if they'd want to, but she's going to be Frankie Monet, so we think on NXT. So now here we go with the new WWE biographies that'll begin next Sunday on A&E. Begins with a Stone Cold Steve Austin one, so crack a cold one and enjoy. But Miz TV with Maurice as a special guest coming up next following this commercial break on Monday Night Raw. And as mentioned, sorry for any technical difficulties, but we move on.
When making the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, people asked how I felt about burger places selling fried chicken. I'd say that's none of my business. It's like making fried chicken none of theirs. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich for just $3.99. It's finger licking good.
Someone tried to steal your Butterfinger. Call the BFI. No one has a finger on your Butterfinger.
It's time to hit refresh. To be buttoned up. To feel your best and look it. By using Just for Men shampoo and hair color to eliminate gray in 5 easy. It's time to look forward. Just for Men shampoo in color.
I can't believe that Daniel really got me on my insurance. Daniel, State Farm offers surprisingly great rates to everyone.
Sure you will.
You want to meet the Queen? I'm not dressed for that. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
No one likes living with a broken phone.
You broke your phone. So Verizon broke the rules. For the first time ever, new and current customers can trade in their old and damaged phones for up to $1,000 off our best 5G phones. Because at Verizon, the network is just the beginning.
You don't need a reason to grab the DQ Chicken and Biscuits basket with 100% all-white meat chicken strips, golden fries, and 7 fluffy mini biscuits. But if you do want a reason, mini biscuits turn any meal into a mini celebration. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes. Zero sugar. Get more out of Zero. Now available with protein.
Alice loves the scent of gay so much, she wished there was a way to make it last longer. Say hello to your fairy godmother, Alice. And long-lasting Gain scent beads, part of the irresistible scent collection from Gain.
If Philly Garcia listened to those who rejected him, he never would have made a name for himself.
Do these commercial breaks seem longer tonight for some reason, or just me?
That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes it lion. No doubt.
It seems like these commercial breaks tonight are a little longer than they normally are for some reason. I don't know why.
Every time I eat stuffed crust with pizza, I play this song. Watch what happens when I play it backwards. Eat 3 toppings stuffed crust backwards. The original stuff.
And I do watch, Raw, AEW, NXT, SmackDown, every week, plus pay-per-views. But whether I'm watching it live or on DVR or getting caught up while it's still live on the air later in the night or next day, it just, to me tonight, for some reason, these commercials are...
Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar effectively treats depression, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 intense. Full spectrum with dementia-related psychosis have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction.
There we go. All right, we're back up running live, still live, for WWE Monday Night Raw. Live reactions, play, live right here on YouTube. Live watch-along reactions, if you will, as the title says. So thank you for tuning in and watching. Sorry for any technical difficulties there the past 10-15 minutes or so. Buffering, disconnect, reconnect. Took way longer to reconnect for some unknown reason. I don't know why. But we're still running, so we'll move on. I'll digress. I'm just not going to hopefully it doesn't happen again. I don't know why it took a little longer to reconnect this time. As when it normally does that, it'll within a few seconds get back up and running. But as mentioned, like I said, I don't know if anybody could hear me or see me when all that was going on or not, but really didn't miss a whole lot. I mean, we went to the commercial break after Alexa's Playground. We had Miz TV with The Miz, John Morrison, and Maurice as they continue to promote Bad Bunny's new tour. And Miz just basically taking credit for Bad Bunny's success, turning into the superstar that he became, I guess you could say, at WrestleMania with him showing out as good as he did. But then Miz was going to challenge, because Damian Priest came out, and that's why I have this match now, that he was going to challenge Priest, but then Morrison was like, well, I want to do that too. And then Maurice got in the middle, and hey, you can challenge both of them. Or you both can challenge them at once, handicap match. And then Priest got the gist, hey, you want to take on me in a 2-on-1 handicap match, so be it, let's do it. So that's why. And we had another commercial break in the meantime, so we're back to the action now. So that's why we have this match on right now. And like I said, other than that, I didn't really miss a lot. So it happened at the right time, I guess. Don't want it to happen at all, but hey, it's technology. It's good, but then it also sucks when you need to be good. So it is a 2-on-1 handicap match on WWE Monday Night Raw with The Miz and John Morrison, hey, hey, ho, ho, hey, hey, hop, hop, against Damian Priest, because Bad Bunny's no longer in the picture. But Morrison, along with The Miz and John Morrison, they're wrestling in street clothes, whereas Priest is in in-ring gear. He'll end up winning. Maurice will probably get involved in the finish, I would say. And then after that, still expecting The Miz or the tag team partner of his, and John Morrison, who's also an A-lister, who's been on numerous TV shows, and he'll be on another later on tonight, Ms. and Mrs. So they say, at least. He'll be in the season premiere episode later on tonight. It's those two against Bad Bunny, but one of those to turn on each other post-match. Because I've been calling for this for I don't know how long now, that The Miz or John Morrison should turn on one another, and then they should feud in singles competition. And to me, it seems like we're actually going to get that now, because backstage they teased it. Hey, Miz, as I mentioned, leaving Morrison in the dust behind them as they went to the ring, and then some things do feel a little off tonight, but just a fresh start. So until they get it all lined up and running the way they want, it's going to be like this until then. So we're going to have the finish here, big choke slam, but here comes Morrison from behind to break up the pin with a knee to the face of Charlie Cruz's favorite DP and Damian Priest off the ropes. And then Morrison wants Miz to tag in, so Miz trying to get over there to tag John Morrison in. Johnny Mundo. Tag made. Here he comes. So yeah, some technical difficulties, but we're back up and running. It's all good. It's like this has ever happened in the past. It's not like it won't happen again. Just hate it when it does happen. So if you have chat questions or comments, let me know. I'll shut up with the spiel on all the technical difficulties, but that's what it is. What can you do about it? So this match continues. It's a 2-on-1 handicap match. So we've seen tonight singles match, tag team match, a Raw Women's Championship rematch, and now a 2-on-1 handicap match. We just need a triple threat match, battle royal, some sort of anything goes match, and along with segments with Alexa's Playground, Miz TV, and Firefly Funhouse still to come. Have ourselves a night. 1, 2, and a kick out by John Morrison. They need to push Priest, Punishment Martinez, up. Hopefully Sheamus. I don't think they'd want to put him in the main title picture as of yet, but you never know.
Incredible swing heel kick, and I think now Priest is ready to end this match. On and on. Here we go.
Priest gonna go for chokeslam, Morrison reversal with a elbow tag made. Miz is legal now.
The tag was made. I don't know if Priest realizes.
And then a DDT. Here comes Miz for a skull-crushing finale. Another DDT. But Priest reverses. Maurice grabs Miz. Ring, no. Priest pulls Miz back in the ring. He's going to rip his shirt off. Miz crawling around the ring trying to escape. Now, Priest is pulling the pants off of Miz off. Maurice gets up on the ring apron. Quick roll up though. 1, 2, 3. Miz in his underwear. 1, 2, 3 picks up the win with John Morrison over Damian Priest. So Miz with some wardrobe malfunctions this evening on Raw. And now it looks like Miz and Maurice are getting it on the barricade. That was a good finish. And like I said, Maurice get involved in it. She did. She didn't get physical, but she caused a distraction. And then Miz with a quick roll up 1, 2, 3, and they win. And Maurice is standing in front of the Miz. I don't know if he's got a hole in his underwear or something or what. I don't know. They all trip and fall on Miz's pants. They're just dragging her around. That's a total botch. But they cut to backstage with another interview with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And they flash back to earlier with Mandy Rose walking up. Mandy saying, hey, it was actually pretty funny, you know, she can laugh at herself. This was going on right around the time it started acting up with TDs. So, yeah, that was earlier. It doesn't look like Miz and Morrison are splitting up anytime soon, but Maurice is back into the fold for the time being. I don't know if they're going to play that out another few weeks or a few months or not. 20 minutes ago? Probably, maybe a little longer. But we're live as live can get, so yeah, this segment's pointless, just as the other one was earlier. But it's telling a story with the future that they're building for it.
Mission accomplished. Because after the beating that Shayna and I give them, nobody's going to be talking about Mandy or Dana.
What, you gonna eat them? Alright, we're gonna get Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler coming up next. Whether or not it's gonna be for the women's tag team titles or not, we'll see. But Nia just said that after they're done with them, nobody's gonna know who or where they are, basically, and you know, that's why I said what I said. But yeah, this will be up next. Just seems like a normal women's tag team match. Watch, they'll start turning Mandy into a comedy character with her slipping and falling every time she walks down the ring. Because they just teased it there, but she didn't do it. But, what the hell's this? JBL and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 25, a flashback for the film Nobody. That was for the Intercontinental title that year? Why don't I remember this? Yeah, Rey definitely won, because JBL's a champion. 1, 2, 3, yeah, Rey Mysterio became Intercontinental champion 12 years ago already. Holy shit. That was when he had his Joker themed match. After, of course, The Dark Knight came out. So, yeah, we'll have a women's tag team match next. And then maybe if they do make it for the titles, which I don't think they will here, because they didn't announce it was a championship match, I believe, that there's going to be some tension with Nia and Shayna, and then eventually they'll break up and push Shayna to where she needs to be at.
Greenies. Something better don't get you on.
Advil tool action. Fights pain 2 ways.
So we'll see what happens.
FDA-approved combination
But they
of
for
Advil
sure need to out the women's tag team division, because if they don't do something soon and fast with this, the men's tag team division as a whole as well, it's going to get ugly. It will turn ugly very fast. Because as it is now, I don't really think a whole lot of people care about it because it's as bad as it is. Like, but circle back around to the booking, well, that was better. You want to be in this situation. So, it's just some of the shit they do. It's like, how is this happening? How did this get approved? But Vince has, the final say in whatever happens anyway. So, and that's why people say, including myself sometimes, well, once Vince is long gone, it'll be better. But at that point in time, well, maybe it won't be. I don't know. We're not there yet. We'll get there when we get there, but
Yes, I can.
it's just some shit so goddamn pathetic.
They customized my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. Because I do things a bit different. What, Eddie Man? What, Eddie Man? Yeah?
Only pay for what you need. It's time to hit refresh. To be buttoned up. To feel your best and look it. By using Just for Men shampoo and hair color to eliminate gray in 5 easy minutes. It's time.
This past hour for Raw has been dragging. Maybe that's why the commercials seem longer. Because the first half hour, 45 minutes before that Rhea Ripley Asuka match, it seemed like Raw was pretty good. So it was average first hour with how it normally is. And since then, though, it's just like,
This ain't just crust. This is Papa John's crust.
not down in the dumps, but it's getting there. Like, they need another boost here at 10 o'clock or shortly then after. But then maybe that's why they're saving shit for the main event. To, like, oh my god, like, I get why you waited. But even at that point, it's probably not going to be anything special anyway, so. They did really go out with those 3D graphics for Mania this year, along with the LED lights in the sky for all the fans that were actually there. So Mandy and Dana in the ring. The Hooters girls, if you will. About to take on Nia and Shayna.
Fine line between boldness and stupidity, Zach. You never want to make the ears of course angry.
Yeah, we know Nia is not like most girls. We knew that. You thought they would have changed up her entrance with her teaming with Shayna. But they just take Nia's, and Shayna's just, off to the side you go. We don't care about you. We never did, we don't now, we probably never will. They need to push her, because if not, it's just a waste. Boom, boom, boom. Another earthquake on Raw. Nia Jax just, well, she's teasing Mandy Rose for having a botched entrance. They probably told Nia to do that, though. She tripped on the ropes getting into the ring and almost ate shit. Fell up the stairs. Bell rings, match underway.
Nia Jax laughing at Mandy falling and now slapping Nia Jax as that's Nia and Dana going to work, and Nia Jax is going to work her.
So Nia in a bad mood right now. Smashing. Who's that? Dana Brooke into the corner. Yeah, Mandy's on the ring apron along with Shayna.
Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose orchestrated a cowardly attack. Think about how much we've seen Nia Jax, all the other superstars, and lead such cowardly attacks against other superstars here on Raw. What has been cowardly about Nia Jax? You're talking pure dominance, Saxton.
Raw talk tonight after Raw on the WWE Network on Peacock. Stone Cold Steve Austin biography on A&E this Sunday. NXT on Tuesday nights, tomorrow night on USA, and then the bump this Wednesday. SmackDown, of course, Friday, as we're on the road Backlash. Normally, of course, that's when you would see the ticket event info pop up on the bottom of the ticker, but, you know, that hasn't happened in over a year now, so. WWE not coming to anybody's city anytime soon other than Orlando and Tampa. And it's all virtual. You can't even get in to go to the show. Other than NXT, they did add a few more seats for tickets last week. Nia Jax off the ropes, elbow drop, cover on Dana, 1, 2, and a kick out. But you go north of Jacksonville, AEW, they're bringing in people. They're bringing in fans. Of course, you got to be socially distanced and wear your mask and all that bullshit, but it is what it is. Nothing else you can really do about it, so. We'll get back to normal at some point in time. But even that old normal still isn't, probably won't at least, be what we know or knew to be normal then. It'll be the new normal as it's been the past year, but it'll, I don't know. Tag mate, here comes Shayna. It'll be a newer new normal, if that makes any sense. I don't even know if it does. Drop kick from Mandy off the top rope to Shayna. Big clothesline. Another clothesline. And then slams her down. Kip up. Mandy yelling, "Come on, come on, come on." Misses. And then a knee misses from Shayna as well. And then that knee connects into the corner. What, Mandy going for a pedigree? Vertical. What the hell? And then headlock. She's going to make her pass out. Actually, no. Tag made Nia is legal, but Mandy just got flung ringside, so she's running the announce table. So they're gonna have Nia put Mandy through these tables like she did to Lana. Nia slipped and fell off the ring apron, and nice big aftershock from those earthquakes we felt. And now she's crawling in the middle of the ring as Mandy and Dana escape. They're just going to take a count out, I think. Nia telling them, hey, get back in the ring, or, you know, else. No, we're just going to take a count out. We're going to walk out. We don't care if we lose. Bell rings, match over. Nia and Shayna win via count out from Mandy and Dana. Not worth it. Well, yeah, Nia's slipping and falling all over the place and making a mockery out of that on her. From Mandy to Nia, I should say. Which is, you know, they want to do this, I don't care. Of course, she, slipping and falling on purpose now, but still, it's funny because it's Nia Jax doing it because nobody gives a shit about her. It just makes her angry. Which, in the process of all this, she's already healed, but she'll be even a bigger and badder heel than she already is, and then they split Nia and Shayna, and then she challenges for a title, and voila, the rest is history once all said. Here comes a highlight recap from Mania on Saturday with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, who we have yet to see yet tonight. So maybe they're going to keep Drew off of TV. I don't know. Say he's injured or something. Like I said, maybe he goes to NXT UK to challenge Walter. Because who's going to challenge Walter for that UK title? Other than him and potentially Finn Balor, who Balor could very well get called up, though, to the main roster again. Which, with NXT moving Tuesdays, I really don't see them doing a whole lot of call-ups anyway. Because they need an audience for the talent that they have. Yeah, I was a little shocked that Lashley... Both opening matches this weekend at WrestleMania, shocked at both outcomes. That Orton beat The Fiend last night, and then Lashley beat McIntyre on Saturday night to open up Mania after that weather delay they had to retain his championship. And now a almighty address from the WWE champion Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw that'll be coming up next. Tomorrow night at NXT will be live right back here on YouTube for more live reactions for the place, so be sure to tune back in. It'll be post NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver with two new champions. A few, actually, more than two champions in NXT now. At least for the main titles, singles titles. Karrion Kross is your new NXT champion. Kel Gonzalez is your new NXT Women's champion. MSK, your new NXT Tag Team champions. And then also the Cruiserweight title has a new champion as well in Santos Escobar after he defeated JD Books, JD Cahill, and Jordan Devlin. So we'll get more into NXT later on tomorrow. And hopefully we'll tune back in for more live reactions. And then on Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. And we'll have a full recap from last week's Dynamite as well, as I was actually live right here on YouTube then, but was experiencing way more technical difficulties than what we experienced this evening. So that stream's not even up on the channel anymore. So we'll review AEW this Wednesday from last week, and then also have live reactions on Wednesday for this week's Dynamite, as they're on the road to Blood and Guts, a little less than a month away now, on May the 5th, and then Double or Nothing on Memorial Day weekend. And then hopefully tune back in on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown.
Just think we're VIP. And backstage. Trust me now, I never doubted. I did for a second, but it's gone now.
The all-new Sienna. Toyota. Let's go places.
Make your move with the new DQ Spring Treat Collection. With new chip shakes like rich chocolate hazelnut, the creamy dreamsicle dip cone, or the bold and bright tropical lemonade twisty misty slush. Stop by for the new Spring Treat Collection today at DQ. Happy to taste good.
Sometimes you take it easy. And sometimes you make it easy. That's the fine life, man.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Big from State Farm. After you see me so much going.
So with the WWE Champions Almighty Address coming up next, it is 10 o'clock. They pull the trigger on somebody coming out and attacking Lashley, whether it be McIntyre in a rematch as mentioned, whether it's Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, maybe even Brock Lesnar, or do they do something with Lashley as they did with The Miz, dragging it out until the end of the show when You know, Lashley wanted his match on Raw a few weeks ago. That they do something here, they then go somewhere else, and then they come back for the main event, and then whatever happens, happens then. Jimmy Johnson getting into IndyCar, the 7-time champ of NASCAR. Of course, has now since retired from NASCAR, but he's getting into IndyCar, which might give me a reason to watch. I guess as the IndyCar season begins this weekend. If it hasn't already, I don't know. Martin Truex won the race at Martinsville yesterday. They'll go to, I believe, either order. I'd have to look.
New champions and new stars, Reigns, Bryan, and Edge put it all on the line. It was epic. Please welcome
The almighty Bobby Lashley now in the ring with Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP. Actually, MVP's out there by himself. He's going to introduce Lashley.
Attention WWE Universe. This is an official announcement from the Hurt Business.
This is an official announcement from the Hurt Business.
WWE champion Bobby Lashley will be joining us shortly.
Lashley going to be joining shortly.
Allow me to address you.
MVP's going to address us.
Saturday at WrestleMania, the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley retained.
Lashley retained at WrestleMania, yes, we knew that.
Will celebrate his victory and address all of you as but he felt so disrespected.
Lashley felt disrespected,
So,
but he's going to address everyone next.
first things first, Drew McIntyre is an absolute warrior.
McIntyre's a warrior, so even with the loss, they're putting McIntyre over.
WWE champions the world has ever seen.
McIntyre, one of the most dominant WWE champions the world's ever seen. That's some high praise.
But he took his eye off the target for just 1 second, and that's exactly where he finished. Drew,
On the
I gotta
bottom,
tell you that
last.
it's okay to be number 2 when the almighty Bobby Lashley is number 1.
The almighty Bobby Lashley is number 1.
You gave him everything you had, and it was respectable.
Maybe Drew comes out and attacks MVP. They got the camera shot zoomed in on
It's just a matter of time
MVP cutting this promo.
until Bobby Lashley applies the Hurt Lock. And when that happens,
The Chris Masters lock, you mean?
it's over. We watched Drew McIntyre pass out. Unconscious. How do you think he feels today? Think he's walking around with his head held high?
Nope.
No. He can barely lift his head at all. He passed out from the intense pressure of the Hurt Lock. And if Drew McIntyre can't handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock, I ask you, who can?
Who can handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock for Bobby Lashley if McIntyre can't?
No one.
Nobody, says MVP. Now here comes Drew McIntyre. Chosen one himself. Scottish psychopath turned Scottish warrior on Monday Night Raw. He's got a mic in his hand. He's going to want a championship rematch from Lashley tonight in the main event, but he's not going to get it. I'll have to wait till next week, I bet. Because Lashley already fought earlier tonight. They're going to have him do double D here in 3 hours.
I knew WrestleMania was going to come down to a few things.
Claymore, Hurt Lock,
and who makes the first mistake.
and who makes the first mistake. And he didn't hit a Claymore. He did make a mistake, and he got put in the Hurt Lock, and he, you know, in quotes, fell unconscious and lost. So Bobby Lashley's still WWE champion.
There's not much you can do about it.
I passed out at WrestleMania. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. Absolutely. You're bragging right now. Absolutely. No humility whatsoever. Let me tell you real quick, there's not a man on this earth that can humble Drew McIntyre. The humble's not your style. And it's working for you. It's working for Bobby Lashley. My goodness, look at you. Top of the world. I want you to keep on this path. But keep picking up Lashley. Keep growing that ego. Keep him in the fancy suits. Those pretty little sunglasses. You milk that cash cow. Keep making that money.
Keep making that money. Business is booming.
His head as big as possible. I want him on the biggest pedestal he could possibly be on, because eventually I'm going to get my rematch.
Drew's saying eventually he's going to get his rematch, and when he does, he wants Lashley.
I want him to
As far as
possible.
Yeah.
And when he hits that ground, he's going to look up.
He wants Bobby Lashley to be up top, on top of the company, as high as he possibly can get. But then when McIntyre gets his rematch and takes him down, he wants Lashley to fall, and he wants to become WWE champion again.
Fair enough. I think even you can respect this. Nothing around here is given.
Nothing around here is given. So MVP is going to lay out a challenge to... Here comes Braun. All right, here comes Braun Strowman. Yeah, MVP is going to say, Drew, Braun, you two fight. Whoever wins gets Bobby Lashley. Exactly what's going to happen. All right, MVP telling Drew, hey, you can take your ass to the back of the line and, fight your way back on up. But now Braun's coming out with a black eye. You lost at WrestleMania and I won. They're going to have a one-on-one now, because they're already in the ring gear. Here comes Randy Orton. All right, we might have a triple threat or a fatal four-way or a five-way or, hell, maybe in a battle royal tonight. I don't know. The line starts and ends with Bobby Lashley, but here comes the Viper, the Legend Killer. As the Legend Killer did not die, as Alexa Bliss thought it would at WrestleMania. Orton put himself back in the WWE Championship picture. Being the Legend Killer, the Apex Predator, and the Viper all at the same goddamn time. He's the best, and he's going to be WWE Champion again. Who's going to come out next? Nobody can stop the almighty Bobby Lashley. Here comes Postman Pierce, Adam Pierce. Randy, Braun, and Drew. Triple threat match. Winner to face Bobby Lashley. WrestleMania Backlash WWE Championship match then will be Bobby Lashley versus the winner of this triple threat match. It'll be Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Randy Orton with the winner to face Lashley in a month's time. You would think Drew's going to find a way to win, get his rematch. Not going to be shocked if Braun wins. But the Fiend's going to make some presence felt and screw over Orton, and they'll continue that story. New Day, Elias with Jackson Riker. We'll have a tag team match with those four coming up next on Raw. So this, then that triple threat match main event with the winner to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash, as that is now officially the name of the next pay-per-view. Just not Backlash, it's WrestleMania Backlash. So this is what they're going to do for this. As mentioned last year, they had Payback after SummerSlam. We'll have SummerSlam Payback.
How many cookies do you think is in
Just make sure it's a little longer than
There's the Oreo.
more than a week after.
There's cookie dough everywhere.
Sonic, Oreo, Big Scoop, Cookie Dough Blast, and Sundae.
I'm actually really impressed.
So that triple threat match should be good, honestly. I mean, we're less than an hour away from the conclusion now of Monday Night Raw. So we'll have this. We'll have Firefly Funhouse as well. And then that triple threat match, I would assume. Maybe something else, probably not. And then that'll be Raw. And other than the Viking Raiders and Charlotte Flair, there's nothing to it. But, there's always a but. And the but right now is, you know, main event of Raw after Mania. Raw after Mania, there's always some sort of big surprise or, you know, big return or debut, whatever it may be. And it's a triple threat match. So, you know, like I said, I'm not going to be shocked if Braun wins, but I would think Drew's got to win to get his rematch. Just to get that out of the way, and then Drew does something else. You know, moves on after Backlash to hopefully Sheamus the U.S. title. Surprisingly, nothing with that tonight, as of yet at least. But then also, along with AJ Styles and Almost as your Raw Tag Team Champions, too. But we got a tag team match coming next with the New Day, who lost those titles this past weekend at Mania. You know, so there's still some time to kill. But with this tag team match coming up, Firefly Funhouse and that triple threat match, well, you're running short on time then, too. So we'll see what happens here. But Raw hasn't been that bad tonight. But what I'm getting at is with the triple threat match that'll main event, you know, there's always this but. You know, okay, Drew wins, Braun wins, Randy Orton wins. Found with either of the three. Drew makes the most sense right now for a rematch. But then, like I said, I'm not going to be shocked if Braun wins because they're pushing him. But then it's Orton. But then, like I said, with him still being tied up with the Fiend, it seems like, well, he'll come out, Sister Abigail him because he lost last night. They'll continue that. But then on top of all that, whether it's a big return or a big debut, it's going to be a surprise, I think. Somebody else is going to get involved. On top of those four with the triple threat, including the Fiend. And whether they get a clear-cut winner in this triple threat or not, we'll see. You know, they could play it out to next week. Like there's some controversy. Like there's not a clear-cut winner because somebody just returned to, you know, make things more interesting. Whether or not that is, you know, once again, obviously it's not going to be McIntyre, Strowman, or Randy Orton because they're in triple threat. But, you know, like I said, with Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, maybe even Brock Lesnar, but they could save Lesnar for the next pay-per-view then to return at that point in time. You could also, you know, like I said, have somebody come over from SmackDown or come up from NXT to make a name. So we'll see, but just how I'm seeing it right now with what I think very well could happen. McIntyre now backstage walking around. He runs into Braun Strowman, so they're staring each other down once again. Triple threat match. You don't have to be pinned to lose. Drew McIntyre thinking Braun's stupid now too. Braun telling Drew, hey, you're standing in my way. Like, get the hell out of the road. Let's get a move on, and I'm going to face Lashley for the title, not you. Now back to commentary with Adnan Burke, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. Saxton took Joe's seat on the right, Adnan in the middle, and then Graves took Saxon's seat on the left. So it'll be a triple threat later on. Earlier tonight, Charlotte. All right, now some recaps from already tonight, just to fill time. As she's the opportunity.
I am the opportunity. So to all you delusional WWE fans at home who think that I steal opportunities from your favorites, no. I create the opportunities. No, this is the new Charlotte Flair. I'm not apologizing for being that damn good. Because all of you are going to bow down to your 13th time women's champion.
You should apologize for being so goddamn bad, though. And then she attacked both Rhea and Asuka during their championship rematch earlier. Of course, Rhea is still champ.
Charlotte Flair wants her throne back. It will stop at nothing. As Charlotte Flair interrupted with a great WrestleMania Raw Women's Championship rematch between Asuka and Rhea Ripley, because Charlotte Flair wants it to be all about her. Nobody gets the opportunities except the Queen. This is why people focus on her taunting tactics. Nobody takes the opportunities like Charlotte Flair.
Now, Elias. We know who you are. You haven't really changed a whole lot.
And this is Jackson Wright. Now, right now, I'd like to take this time to make sure Shane McMahon gets the respect he deserves.
All right, Elias making sure Shane gets the respect he deserves.
Against Braun Strowman at WrestleMania.
Because Braun beat his ass in Mania. Special once-in-a-lifetime performance. He's going to dedicate it to Shane. And then Elias goes to play his guitar, but it looks like he's got some tuning problems. Somebody's with it's a New Day, of course. It's Xavier Woods with his trombone. That's what it sounds like.
I'm gonna do this again. There better not be a problem.
Here comes the New Day, of course, leading into this tag team match. So we don't even get to see that once-in-a-lifetime performance now from Elias, which, thank God. But Kofi and Xavier, the New Day, Biggie, of course, all by himself now over on SmackDown. Just lost his Intercontinental title to Apollo Crews last night as well. So, see what happens with him.
Now, I hear you out here forming this makeshift apology to Shane McMahon, but I'm wondering why you're not apologizing to the entire Raw Tag Team division for the way that you disgraced it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. You, two men, not one, but two men.
All right, the New Day with Kofi and Xavier talking about how Elias and Riker disgraced the tag team division. Except it's more than just them. But at least they are making it known. They're stating that they know that the tag team division is god awful right now. They need to do something about it.
And you just hate to see it, don't you? I mean, think about this, look. If something like that would have ever happened to us, I know that we would never show our faces around here again. And look at our faces. Go ahead, zoom in. We look like beautiful baby angel cherubs from the heavens. And offense, but look at y'all. I mean, you should be out here with like a bag over your head, show some kind of embarrassment. I mean, you mean to tell me that in WrestleMania, after over a year, Without fans, all y'all could do was catch Braun's hands. Wow! Braun! Yo, hey, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? And it's been a while since we've done this. We're gonna go ahead and bring it back. Shame!
Shame! Shame! Shame!
You know what? Hold on. I'm thinking of something here. A colossal whooping by one man. Isn't that exactly what happened to you two? Exactly what happened.
Yeah, because AJ did all the work with Almost against the New Day.
Around the ring, and you lost your Raw Tag Team titles. Hey, Cousin, how high up were you when he hugged you? I'm trying to get an idea of just how high that was before you fell. What was that like? What was that like? Apparently, what we have here is a failure to communicate time. Hey, bro, you think this is a game? You think it's a game? It's not a game, man. It's not about us. It's about you and the way that you brought shame and disgrace upon our tag team division. Unacceptable condition. Unacceptable. But fear not, for your boys, the
New Day? Are we getting scolded at Hogwarts right now by the New Day or what? They're still going to have this tag team match. They're just killing some time with a promo beforehand. Why? Because New Day rocks. New Day sucks. New Day rocks. New Day sucks. Watch, they'll probably take another commercial break. Or they'll start this match and then not even a minute into it, they'll take a commercial break. Bell rings, match underway. New Day versus Elias and Jackson Riker. It's Xavier Woods and Jackson Riker starting things off. Well, at least Elias and Riker are actually wrestling. Can't remember the last time they wrestled on a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Over the top rope, New Day taking out Elias and Riker. And what do you know, they're going to take a commercial break right now, it looks like. Yep. Fade to black, commercial break. So we'll get back to the action momentarily.
All right, reset the gate. Welcome to my vasectomy reveal party.
Your what?
Miz is having a vasectomy reveal party? How the hell does that work? Do you get your vasectomy in front of everybody that's at the reveal party then, or what? Or do you reveal whether you got a vasectomy or not? Like, what the hell?
My true colors are coming out.
Miz and Miss is going to be new after Raw tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how that new season plays out. Hasn't been on for a little while. What's his name?
Yeah, Reggie. It's always tough having to say goodbye. Whoa, hold up. Oh, honey butter chicken biscuit is $1.99 all month. I'm never leaving now.
We made the deal too good.
Choose once, choose Wendy's to get the breakfast you deserve. Allergy sufferers. Bedtime means it's time to take Zysol. Zysol relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. And in a clinical study, after just one day, 90% felt powerful 24-hour relief. So, you wise all, take Zysol at night.
I may not be able to tell time, but I know what time it is. It's real cheese o'clock.
If Philly Garcia didn't have the fighting spirit to drive his ambition, he never would have left home for LA with only his car sleeping. If he listened to those who rejected him, he never would have sold that car to pay for his dream. will to improve his craft. He never let him make a name for himself, lining up some of the biggest names in pro sports. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes him lion. But that root for those who don't fighting spirit.
At Domino's, we're more than just pizza for $5.99. We're $5.99 bread twists, $5.99 sandwiches, $5.99 pastas, $5.99 chicken, and yes, $5.99 pizza too. We didn't stop at pizza. You don't have to either.
Doritos 3D are back. Why? You didn't think we were listening? With more crunch and delicious chili cheese nacho flavor. Now in 3D.
How great is it that we get to tell everybody how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need? I mean, sorry. Only pay for what you need.
Man, this looks so good.
Oh my
There's
God.
Oreo inside of the cookie dough.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there. Oreo Big Scoop cookie dough last night Sunday.
Brilliant.
You will not laugh. What a geezer. Let's do this.
Luke and I are teamed in the hot dog eating contest.
Aye, aye, Captain.
If you're not excited, you better check your pulse.
What you got? And leave that each out. I do it the whole time, buddy.
WWE Raw continues. Do not miss the new movie Nobody on demand. Friday is uwatch.com for more great action movie starring Bob Odenkirk as the action continues with New Day taking on Elias and Jackson Riker. Oh, man, this one might be over. What a spine buster. Oh, Jackson Riker is a difference maker. There's no question about it. He's dropping bombs right now on Xavier Woods. Vicious, aggressive, impressive. Cover. Kick out there from Xavier Woods. He's trying to get to Kofi Kingston, but you know Jackson Riker is not going to let that happen. Riker and Elias don't have to ring in half. Woods far away from Kofi. Obviously, New Day more experience of these two teams, but we know Jackson Riker has played just unfielding loyalty to Elias. Xavier Woods, nice slot of punishment there and slam. And the kick out at two. Woods has got to make the tag to Kofi Kingston. How much more can Xavier Woods take right now? The power of positivity right now holding on. Ordinarily, with most superstars, that's an incredibly valid question at hand. But this is Xavier Woods we're talking about. Kofi Kingston, two of the most resilient stars in WWE. There's only so far the resilience can go, though, Corey.
Back to the action on Raw. Now a split screen featuring the Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman, Bob Odenkirk Nobody movie that they're continuing to promote. So it's the New Day with Elias and Jackson Riker in tag team action Monday Night Raw. Basically, I guess, some co-main event, because still to come, we'll have Firefly Funhouse with Fiend Bray Wyatt. Maybe Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. I don't know. We'll see. Bray actually does emerge. But then we'll have a triple threat main event. Basically a number one contender match. Because the winner will become the new number one contender for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship, in which that match will take place at WrestleMania Backlash next month. I don't like them changing the name of Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash, but alright.
Just painful, a little bit of insult to injury. Was that the wherewithal to knock Elias off the apron? Oh, yeah, baby! Got the top rope.
Cover 1, 2, Xavier kicks out.
The kick out from 2.5 on Woods, but once again, the execution of Riker and Elias. I think this one would have been out of PNC Park or most stadiums for that matter. Look at this. Oh, big.
Graves with a Pittsburgh reference because that's where he's from, saying that one with Riker dropping Xavier after he flew off the top rope. That one would have been out of PNC Park, which of course is the home of the Pirates, and Pirates actually lost earlier tonight against the Padres, which isn't that much of a surprise by any means. But now Riker cover 1-2, kick out by Xavier once more. But it's nice to hear Graves go back to his roots every once in a while, because some of the shit he says, I mean, I can relate to. But he's one of the best color commentators I think that WWE's had in quite a while. And going back to Adnan and Coach, with their ESPN connection, of course, Coach was in the WWE before, then went to ESPN. Adnan the opposite way. Coach wasn't a lead play-by-play guy on commentary. He was a side JR and Jerry King Lawler. He was a color commentator, just as Graves and Saxon are. Adnan comes in, he's play-by-play. So, just going to take some used to getting to, for Adnan calling Monday Night Raw. But Kofi now legal, up against Elias, quick roll through. And then Kofi with a knee. And another cover, 1, 2, and kick out. New Day, and then a leg drop. Kofi gonna go up top, looks like. No, he's gonna get the New Day clap. Riker just got cold cocked a good one down that ringside, then a botched drop kick suicide dive from Xavier through the ropes. They got Riker. Now Elias has Kofi up on his shoulders in the middle of the ring. Tag made. Xavier's legal. Xavier now off the top rope for the finish. A stomp right to the chest. Cover. 1, 2, 3. New Day defeat Elias and Jackson Riker on Monday Night Raw. Who wants to walk with Elias, says Xavier as he looks into the camera. That's a good one. Orton now backstage, gonna cut a promo. Orton's been distracted recently. He surprisingly beat Bray last night, I thought. And from what I've heard, they changed the finish of that match just before they went on the air last night. Now, whether or not that's true at all or how much of it is true, I don't know. I don't care because Orton came out on top. Like, that's what they did. So, Orton's now zoned in on the WWE title, but Bray's going to make his presence felt, I would have to assume. And then maybe even somebody else on top of, Randy and Bray, and then McIntyre and Strowman as well, as mentioned. So, just don't know who that, could be, but have a good feeling on if it will be Keith Lee, Samoa Joe, and Brock Lesnar. Okay. Maybe even somebody else. I don't know. We'll find out here within the next half hour or so. But coming up next on Raw, it'll be Firefly Funhouse making its return for the first time in quite a while. And I say quite a while because you got to go back to before Christmas, at the end of 2020, before the new year, for God's sakes, with Bray losing to Randy Orton at TLC in that Firefly Inferno match. He was burned alive then. Wasn't seen until Fastlane just a few weeks ago, back on March 21st. But the story kept going with Randy and Alexa in the meantime. And that's why I say, or did say, at least, I said that I've thought it's been one of the best stories that they've, put out in quite a while. One of the best feuds that we've seen. And, Bray wasn't even hardly in it. He was, but he wasn't. It was just, all behind the scenes with, some voices that Orton, has been hearing in his head for as many years as he's been in the WWE, and just all that wrapped up into one. And it got spit out, and we got that match again yesterday at WrestleMania. But then Orton picked up the win. So, yeah, Firefly Funhouse returns next out of this commercial break. We got King, Baron Corbin in a Snickers commercial. You know, you're not you when you're hungry, which, yeah, is true. But, yeah, Corbin wanted to be a biker, and they put him in actual bicycle gear that you would, you know, wear, say, in the Tour de France. And then they put the reflectors on them and turn them on. Misunderstood? Yeah, maybe you just need a Snickers because, you know, as always, you're not you when you're hungry. So, I'm not really that much of a fan of Snickers. More of a, you know, Reese's peanut butter cup guy myself. Anything chocolate, peanut butter, really. But still a funny commercial because King Corbin's involved in it.
Business mobility solutions that are more than just business as usual. A partner that's ready when you're ready to go the extra mile. For the short term, for the long haul, and everywhere in between. Go with someone who thinks outside the box truck. With custom transportation solutions that maximize productivity, reliability, and savings. Go with Enterprise and start driving business. When you're ready, we're ready.
At Domino's, we're more than just classic hand-tossed pizza for $7.99. We're hardened handmade pan crust, tasty gluten-free crust, foldable Brooklyn-style crust, and crunchy thin crust, too. Carry out 3-topping pizzas on any of Domino's 5 crusts for $7.99 each.
At 40, I started feeling sluggish, but this part of me stay in shape. It happens to every man.
What you doing, big dog? Hmm?
Turns out, I'm not alone, baby.
What's up, buddy?
It has been
What you doing? You tired?
makes you want to go out and work out.
Just
Nugenix
can't
helps me with the stamina that I need. To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text UNITE 2321321. This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient, clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more energy and drive.
That's just adding more fuel to the fire. When you take action with Nugenix, you will see results. Try Nugenix Total T for yourself.
And by the way, she'll like it too. Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text UNITE 2321321. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Absolutely free. Text UNITE 2321321.
You have come here to date other people. I have no idea what to expect.
I might have a heart attack.
I am the better man.
I hate seeing him cry.
Temptation Island in new episodes, Tuesdays at 10 on USA.
Raw Talk will feature Rhea Ripley, the Viking Raiders who just returned, and Sheamus, who's your new United States champion as well, but not featured on Raw tonight. That'll be on the WWE Network on Peacock after Raw tonight, Raw Talk. Now Firefly Funhouse for the first time in months was the Fiend Bray Wyatt, got to say. There's Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus the Pig, there's Sister Abigail, Ramblin' Rabbit, who's somehow still alive. The return of the Firefly Funhouse. Yowie wowie, there's Bray. Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, there he is. Hello, Fireflies.
It feels so good to be back in the fun.
Feels good to be back in the Funhouse, yeah.
Especially with all of my true friends.
Especially with all my true friends. Alexa's nowhere near his side anymore. Sister Abigail, the witch, just said something bad about Alexa Bliss. They bleep it.
You just be wild.
It's going to be so lonely in the Funhouse without her. Bray doesn't like that from Ramblin' Rabbit. He's going to kiss him. But maybe break his neck again. He does throw him through a window, though.
Has happened lately. We still have each
We will always have each other. I feel great, says Bray. He's back. He's not burned anymore. A new season. New friends. And a brand new me. Bray feels reborn. Now they got some music playing. And he's pushing and shoving Huskus, Mercy, and Abby the Witch. He will return. What is this? The goddamn Blues Brothers? The Funhouse will be big, bad, and strong. See ya, says Bray. Okay. A reborn Bray Wyatt back in the WWE. Here comes Drew McIntyre, though. It'll be McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Randy Orton in a triple threat match to determine the new number one contender for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship, in which that championship match will take place a little over a month from now, a month from Friday, May the 16th, at WrestleMania Backlash. Raw's actually been pretty good tonight. It has. I'll give him credit. It has been good, I thought. I mean, I guess a little disappointing with not as many returns or debuts or call-ups, however you want to put it. But the Raws after Mania, the past few years really haven't been that big or spectacular anyway. Fans or no fans. And now it's WWE Thunderdome when you have no fans at all. It's all virtual. I mean, you're still going to get your reaction, but, you know, it's still not the same, of course. But, you know, we still could see something happen here in the final 20 minutes of the show. We'll see. But, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. They have 5 weeks to build to the next pay-per-view. They're not going to have fans for another few months at least. You know, they got to space it out and long, slow build for some things, you know, long-term booking rather than short-term for depending on what it is. And try not to beat a dead horse with it. So, and, you know, that's the thing. If the booking is good, nobody's, you know, complaining. But if not, just as for anything, if whatever it is isn't the way you want it to be, everybody's complaining about it. You know, everybody's got an opinion. That's the problem. So we'll see what happens here, as I always say. But go back to McIntyre, Strowman, and Orton here. Like I said, I think Drew has to win this to get his rematch. He doesn't have to, but make the most sense. But then Braun with Drew not having to win this to get his rematch makes the most sense, because then that leaves Orton getting attacked by Bray. So I think my pick would have to be a tie between McIntyre and Strowman. I'm not going to be shocked if Orton wins though either. But I think Bray's going to come out and, you know, they'll continue their feud. And then also you have, you know, like I said, potentially somebody else getting involved and changing up a little bit. And potentially closing out WrestleMania weekend, this Raw after Mania night with a bang. So, yeah. We'll have the Triple Threat main event coming up next.
Someone trying to steal your Butterfinger. Call the DFI. No one has a finger on your Butterfinger. Not in my house.
Not today.
Folks will save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico.
Happier than Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot. Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 50% or more.
There are many reasons for waiting to visit your doctor right now. But if you're experiencing irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait to contact your doctor, because these symptoms could be signs of a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which could make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so this is no time to wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Millions are saying yes to Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand. Allegra works 2 times faster than Claritin, and unlike Zyrtec, it's non-drowsy. Say yes to the fastest non-drowsy 24-hour relief. Allegra.
This is crazy. You coming?
Seriously? It is way too comfortable in here.
The all-new Sienna. Toyota. Let's go places. I want freaking fries. For $1 now at Arby's. Still got curlies at the Arby's. Arby's.
We have the meats. One final WrestleMania flashback from this past weekend. As we come back from commercial break, we'll probably have another commercial break though, in another 5 to 8 minutes or so, I'd say, before the closing of the night and the wrap up for WrestleMania weekend with this Monday Night Raw after Mania tonight. Triple threat to main event. Coming up next with McIntyre, Strowman, and Orton, winner to face Lashley next month for the WWE Championship. However, WWE NXT tomorrow, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and also WWE Friday Night SmackDown this upcoming Friday. I'll have live reactions to play of all 3 live right here on YouTube, so hopefully you'll tune in for more live reactions to play of Pro Wrestling live right here on the channel.
New episodes of Miz and Mrs. return tonight at 11 on USA. It's stacked from a Corey Graves, so that's all you need to know to watch Miz and Mrs. We've got a huge match coming up right now. The triple threat match.
So McIntyre comes out before the promo, or before the commercial break, excuse me. We've seen enough promos tonight, but they keep continuing to fill us in on this triple threat match, as I have as well. As Strowman gets his entrance during the commercial break, jobber entrance if you will. Now here comes the Viper, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Strowman with that black eye, following his steel cage match against Shane McMahon.
On the task at hand, on this match, and potentially becoming WWE champion once again. I'm sure the Viper is glad to have the Fiend out of his rearview mirror or right in his face after what he and Alexa wasn't able to cook up. There's no rest for the weary. Randy Orton may have finished his business.
Orton, I don't think he's going to be able to do his pose in the corner, because McIntyre and Strowman are in the way as he gets the final entrance tonight. For this match, at least. We could have another one. We'll see.
Sinister smile as he stares down through McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Think about it this way, Byron. The fact that Randy Orton is smiling prior to this match, the opportunity at camp, this might be the most dangerous Randy Orton, because Randy's got clarity. I firmly agree. This match will be the final step towards Randy Orton earning his 15th world title.
He's going to do the pose in the corner either way. Pyro coming down from above. Saw a few musical performances for entrances last night at WrestleMania. Orton actually had his performed at WrestleMania 30, if I'm not mistaken. for his triple threat with Dave the Animal Batista and Daniel Bryan, in which, of course, Mania 30 turned into WrestleMania with DB winning, becoming champion. And now here tonight, the night after WrestleMania 37, in which Orton defeated The Fiend, he's in another triple threat match with, this time around, McIntyre and Strowman to crown a new number one contender. Orton rolls out of the ring once the bell rings, and Strowman now working McIntyre in the corner. However, Orton gets back in the ring. Strowman grabs him by the neck, and then both Orton and McIntyre are going after Braun.
Appreciate the size of Braun Strowman that it takes two larger-than-life individuals. Well, you heard the expression, it takes two to tango. Tonight on Raw, it takes three to tango. And now Strowman turns his attention. Drew McIntyre over the top rope.
McIntyre gets thrown ringside by Braun. Strowman gonna go for a little run here and then a shoulder tackle, but Braun just got nailed in the face with a steel steps. It is triple threat, so anything goes. And then Orton with a back body drop to McIntyre on the announce table, and they'll fade to black once more for the final commercial breakdown of the evening.
The original stuffed crust, just $11.99. No one else pizza's that.
You thought using nicknames might endear you to your new team.
Did you just call me Scale?
Turns out they only use that name behind Stan's back. Life's full of hidden problems. So we hit a comforting brownie and a Snickers.
So, yeah, just a silly mistake. I guess I look pretty ridiculous. No one looks ridiculous, Bob. Progressive is always here for you. Round-the-clock service.
Just so you know, next time you can submit a claim with our mobile app.
Good. Thanks again for rushing over.
Are you kidding? This is what 24/7 protection looks like. You smell like fish. I was talking to Jimmy.
One for me, and one for me. Introducing buy one, get one for just $1 at Burger King. Grab a Flamegrove Whopper or Impossible Whopper and mix or match it with your favorites for extra buck. Go ahead. You deserve it. Buy one, get one for $1. Your way, way better.
Sometimes you take it easy. And sometimes make it easy. That's the fine life, baby.
You push through migraine?
Mom, are you okay with me?
Imagine if you could prevent a migraine day before it happens. Take Emgality once a month to help prevent migraine days. It cut the number of monthly migraine days by 50% or more for some people. Don't use if allergic to Emgality. Allergic reactions such as itching, rash, hives, and trouble breathing can occur even days after using. Common side effects include injection site reactions. Ask your doctor about Emgality today.
At Domino's, we're more than just classic hand-tossed pizza for $7.99. We're hardened handmade pan crust, tasty gluten-free crust, foldable Brooklyn-style crust, and crunchy thin crust, too. Carry out 3-topping pizzas on any of Domino's 5 crusts for $7.99 each.
Advil Dual Action fights pain 2 ways. It's the first and only FDA-approved combination of Advil plus acetaminophen. Advil targets pain. Acetaminophen blocks it. Advil Dual Action. Fast pain relief that lasts 8 hours.
Like, I don't know what you can put bacon on that doesn't make it better.
The first rule in food
Okay.
is there's never too much bacon.
That is true. Sonic Bacon Jam Cheeseburger. That's like commandment number 1.
Yes.
All right, we're at the gate.
Welcome to my vasectomy reveal party.
Your what?
Everything that could have went wrong went wrong.
You never know what you're gonna get.
My true colors are coming out.
Back to the final minutes of Monday Night Raw. Triple threat, McIntyre, Strowman, and Orton. Winner to face Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship next month for WrestleMania Backlash. Orton and Drew attacking Braun. Nice headbutt there to drive him ringside. And then a poke to the eyes from Randy Orton. Kick to the gut now of Drew McIntyre. Slamming him down. Stomp to the foot. Now stomp to the hand.
This has got to hurt even extra if you're Drew McIntyre because you're familiar with it. You have felt this exact same pain inflicted by Orton on numerous occasions in the past. He's talking about having his pride.
McIntyre, though, starting to fight back. Some right hands to the gut before Orton hits him with another knee to the chest. Off the ropes they go. Reverse. Kick. Clothesline. Another clothesline from Drew. Off the ropes they go again. Corner to corner. Now Drew's just throwing Orton all over the ring. Here comes Braun out of the corner as he just reemerged from ringside, taking out Drew. Now he's taking out Orton. Running corner to corner. Neckbreaker, actually, yeah, McIntyre, it was a neckbreaker, but it didn't connect the whole way. Braun didn't go down, but then he did to sell it. I didn't know if he was going to spin him, get him turned into an RKO, take one out of Orton's playbook, but he hit him with a neckbreaker. Just wasn't 100%. Now Orton ringside. We'll see if they take out the announce table or not, but Drew on the ring apron, cutting the legs out from under him. So Drew falls. Now they're ringside. Chop to the chest. That has to hurt. Shit. Now into the barricade. McIntyre face first into that steel post. Yeah, now they're going to work the announce table again. Adnan's getting his first experience with the announce table being broken. Over the announce table, into the chair goes Drew. Where's Braun at, though? That's the question. Braun with a big shoulder tackle run ringside, taking out Orton. Out of nowhere. Orton's now being thrown back into the ring. Strowman grabs those steel steps that were used earlier. Takes out Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's right in front of, or in between the announce team. Strowman now throws down those steel steps. Gonna get back into the ring. Actually pull Randy to the ring apron. Big chop to the chest of Orton now. And now Strowman with those steel steps again. Gonna go right back to McIntyre. No, he's gonna go to Orton. And knock out Randy Orton ringside of those steel steps. Now back to Drew as well. Shit. This is a steel step match now, or the triple threat. It is all legal, yes. It's a triple threat match. Anything goes.
Braun Strowman is unleashing his fury after what he did to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. He will not be deterred, no matter who the opponent is.
Braun now throwing him back into the ring. I'd assume an RKO out of nowhere is coming, or DDT from the middle rope, vintage Orton style. Orton to Braun, DDT now, here we go. Yep. Bang. Orton now in control.
looking to seize the moment.
Takes a deep breath. He's now lining up Strowman for an RKO, pounding his arms on the mat. The Viper's about to strike. RKO. RKO to Strowman. Orton with a pin. Orton with a pin on Braun. Cover. 1, 2, and then a Claymore kick out of nowhere from Drew McIntyre. Drew with a cover on Randy. 1, 2, 3. McIntyre wins this triple threat, and he's once again #1 contender for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship. And we'll get a rematch with Lashley and McIntyre a month from Friday, Sunday, May the 16th, WWE WrestleMania Backlash of live reactions play then as well, so be sure to tune back in. Drew McIntyre wins this triple threat. He's getting back into the WWE Championship picture. He should and hopefully will defeat Bobby Lashley a month from now and become WWE Champion again, but we'll see. It'll be WrestleMania Backlash for the WWE Championship, the Almighty One himself, Bobby Lashley, defending his WWE title against the Chosen One, the Scottish psychopath warrior, and Drew McIntyre, as they will now continue to build towards WrestleMania Backlash in a month's time. A few replays from the match. Very, very good triple threat main event match, I thought. It was. I didn't know how Braun was going to take that RKO because he really didn't take the neck breaker well from Drew earlier in the match, but took the RKO, Orton with the cover, 1, 2, and then the Claymore from Drew, and then Drew rolls up Orton, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, just a reversal of Drew's 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. He's celebrating victorious, your winner here tonight, once again the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And now here comes the almighty Bobby Lashley. And I mean, why the hell not tease the Hurt Business getting back together now and have Lashley come out by himself? Well, that's MVP. Lashley's probably come from behind and attack. But then maybe even with Cedric and Shelton. Lashley. Actually, what the hell? Retribution. Retribution, T-Bar and Mace. Of course, Dijak and Dio Madden. Double choke slam, as it seems like they're now a part of the Hurt Business. Double choke slam in the middle of the ring to Drew McIntyre. So Retribution's no more, Hurt Business is no more. Well, why don't you combine them? Mustafa Ali's by himself. Cedric and Shelton are off by themselves as a tag team, and they need, you know, 2 big guys, or just 2 guys in general, and they end up getting Dijak, T-Bar, and Dio Madden Mace of the old Retribution to join the Hurt Business now, it looks like, as MVP stares down Drew McIntyre, but it'll still be Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre at WWE WrestleMania Backlash for the WWE Championship after Drew McIntyre just won tonight's triple threat main event match on the Raw after Mania to close out WWE WrestleMania 37 weekend. However, I will have more live reactions, play live right here on YouTube tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday this week with WWE NXT, AEW Dynamite, and WWE Friday Night SmackDown for the SmackDown after Mania as well, after Roman Reigns showed up and won at WrestleMania his triple threat main event championship match last night against Edge and Daniel Bryan. So we'll have to see what the future holds for the big dog, Tribal Chief, head of the table that we have to acknowledge on Friday Night SmackDown, as he is still Universal Champion. However, tonight in the main event of Raw, Drew McIntyre, once again, your new #1 contender. He's going back after Bobby Lashley, getting his rematch once again for the WWE Championship, and that'll happen next month, as mentioned, at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Hopefully you'll tune back in for more live reactions, play live right here on YouTube of pro wrestling, college football, and the NFL. All you have to do is like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thank you for tuning in tonight, all weekend long, for WWE live reactions, play live right here on the channel. And hopefully we'll tune back in for more live reactions, play live right here on the channel beginning tomorrow night with WWE NXT, as they continue their future off of the footsteps from WWE NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver last week. So hopefully you'll tune back in for more live reactions, play-by-play tomorrow as well with WWE NXT, Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite, Friday night with Friday Night SmackDown. And thank you for tuning in tonight and all weekend long, but more to come. So be sure to tune back in, stick around. Just be sure to like, follow, and subscribe as always on social media. Links in the description below. Drew McIntyre is your new #1 contender once again for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship, and they'll square off in a month's time, a month from Friday, May the 16th, week after Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms, but a week after Mother's Day, a month from now, at WWE WrestleMania Backlash. We'll see everybody then as well for live reactions, play of that pay-per-view for the WWE Network on Peacock right here on YouTube. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching. Hope to see everybody now tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday for more live reactions, play. Drew McIntyre will once again square off against Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship after winning tonight's main event triple threat match against the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, and the Viper, Apex Predator, Legend Killer himself, and Randall Keith Orton, Randy Orton, Mr. RKO. We'll see if they continue Orton and The Fiend. It seems that way. Only time's going to tell. But Orton, along with Strowman, on the losing side this evening with the finish of an RKO from Orton to Strowman, pin 1-2, and then a Claymore kick from McIntyre to Orton. 1, 2, 3, McIntyre, your winner. And he'll get Bobby Lashley's once again for the WWE Championship. So, thanks for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. See you right now tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday for more live reactions, play in the world of professional wrestling, beginning with WWE NXT, following NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver that kicked off WrestleMania weekend this past week. But now, Raw after Mania in the books. Future's bright for the World of Pro Wrestling. Hopefully you'll tune back in for more live reactions. Play live right here on YouTube. That'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Once more, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below.